Chapter 3840. The system was speechless. It was a disease that was destined to happen, but you made it happen in advance. It would be strange if it didn't happen after eating those stimulating foods every day. Jiang Wenjing heard Jing Ainan's words and felt suffocated. Did he not like Jiang Lin? Of course he liked her. He liked Jiang Lin's wholehearted devotion to him. He liked Jiang Lin's understanding. He also liked Jiang Lin's playfulness and cuteness. However, when it came to making a choice, he still had to consider his own health first. This time was different from the last time. Zheng, you go back first. I'll stay here with Lin Lin. You have so many things to deal with in the company. Jing Ainan did not urge him, and asked Jiang Wenjing to donate a kidney. Like Jiang Lin, she knew Jiang Wenjing very well. About this man, if you took the initiative to ask for it, he might not give it. He might even be suspicious. But if he took the initiative to give it to you, you would definitely get it. Even if you were being schemed against, he might not know. For example, Jiang Lin had schemed against Jiang Wenjing in the beginning. For Jiang Lin, Jiang Wenjing had tortured Jing Ainan to a pulp. Jiang Wenjing felt that he needed to calm down, and said that he would leave first. After dealing with the company's affairs tomorrow, he would come to see Jiang Lin early. During this period, the Jiang couple had called him several times, but he had temporarily hung up. Now he had to go back and talk to them about Jiang Lin. Donating a part of the liver was easy, but donating a kidney, no matter how much money it cost, those who were willing might not be able to match it, and those who were able to match it might not be willing. Jiang Wenjing dragged his heavy footsteps and left. For the time being, he did not have the mood to think about anything else, because his mind was full of Jiang Lin's pitiful crying face, which could not be erased. Tang Guo looked at Jiang Wenjing's back, and knew that this pervert could not escape Jiang Lin's scheme. Miss Jing, I'll leave first. I'll come to see Jiang Lin another day. Tang Guo said goodbye to Jing Ainan, and carefully observed Jing Ainan's expression. She saw that there was no flaw on Jing Ainan's face, as if she was really sad for Jiang Lin's experience. Well, Miss Tang, take care. I've delayed your time again. Ming Huan wanted to stay, but his identity was not suitable. In the end, he could only say goodbye and leave. Before he left, he said, when the result is out, tell me. Actually, he was a little afraid that Jing Ainan would be compatible, although this thought was very selfish. But if they really matched, he had no right to stop it. The only thing he could do was to become Jing Ainan's shield. If she really couldn't stay in the Jiang family one day, he was willing to take good care of her. Jing Ainan sensed Ming Huan's thoughts and his eyes welled up with tears. This time, he didn't have to hide it and could directly wipe his tears. Now there was a very good reason. Jiang Lin was sick. She should be sad. Yes. Tang Guo and Ming Huan left the ward. Ming Huan said, Miss Tang, do you need me to send you home? Don't misunderstand. I don't have any feelings for you. I'm just helping Dr. Yi send you home. No, Master Ming, you can go back first. I remember that Dr. Yi didn't have time to drive here. She was in Jiang Wenjing's car before. My driver has already parked my car outside. Oh, if that's the case, then I'll leave first. Ming Huan didn't force him. Before he left, he muttered, there are even people who like this kind of blockhead. Master Ming, are you jealous? Tang Guo's eyes were full of smiles. Ming Huan now felt that she was very annoying. She clearly knew that he couldn't get what he wanted, but she still said such words to poke his heart. Chapter 3841. Yu Yan was busy until late at night. He finally relaxed and was ready to go home. When he walked out of the hospital, he realized that he didn't drive here. His car was still at the party. When he took out his phone and was about to call for a ride, Tang Guo walked to him. Miss Tang. Yi Lian put away his phone and looked around. Why aren't you home yet? Then he patted his head. Sorry, I was so busy that I forgot that your car didn't drive here. It's not safe for you to go home alone. Let's go together. I'll take you home first. Yi Lian took out his phone again. For some reason he felt much better. You should have told me earlier. No need to call a taxi. My driver is already here. Let's go. I'll take you home. Tang Guo stopped Yi Lian. Yi Lian was still a little guilty. I'll try to remember this next time. Maybe I'm used to being so busy. He felt that if he had to do it twice more, his fate would change in a strange way. Tangwa giggled and walked towards the car. Yi Lian hurriedly opened the door, acting like a driver. Is the success rate of conservative treatment for Jiang Lin's disease high? Tangwa asked casually. She was mainly concerned about whether Jiang Wenjing would be stabbed because of this. Speaking of the patient, Yi Lian looked more serious. It's hard to say. There is a chance of recovery, but according to the current speculation, the chance is not high. Both of her kidneys have problems. According to the current situation, it's better to have a backup plan. It was better not to exchange if possible. Things that didn't belong to him were always different. Jiang Lin's condition came too suddenly. He never thought that it would be a kidney problem. Jiang Lin's life is really full of difficulties. She has one disease after another. I don't know if Miss Jing can find a match. Yi Lian felt that Tang Guo was very strange. She had the same attitude twice. She said that she didn't care about Jiang Lin, but she knew how to find a match before. She said that she cared about Jiang Lin, but why did she give him the feeling that she was so indifferent to everything that was happening in front of her? According to the previous situation, there is a high chance that they won't be a match. Yi Lian said, but the chances of Jiang Wenjing and Jiang Lin being a match are higher. Moreover, he had an intuition that in the end, Jiang Wenjing would have to take the blow to save Jiang Lin's life. They had all seen the attitude of the Jiang family today. The Jiang family might not agree, so it all depended on Jiang Wenjing. If the family members were unwilling, as doctors they couldn't say much. They could only try their best to treat them. Jiang Wenjing cares a lot about his younger sister, Jiang Lin. If Miss Jing didn't succeed, Jiang Wenjing would never watch Jiang Lin die. Tangwa said, Jiang Lin is so young. It would be a pity if she couldn't be cured. In the hospital, there are so many young lives leaving every day. Some are even younger than Jiang Lin. In the face of illness, everyone is equal. As a doctor, we can only do our best. Other than that, there is nothing else we can do. Has Dr. Yi ever had a patient who died? Yi Lian nodded. Of course I do. I'm not a god. It's impossible for me to save all the patients that are sent to me. Many times, some patients who come to see a doctor are already in the late stages. The cancer cells have completely spread, but they are just delaying the time. They don't even have the chance to operate. Chapter 3842. Do you have any thoughts about this, Dr. Yi? Tangwa looked back and smiled. Do you feel numb after seeing so much death? How can I be numb? I can only say that after seeing so much, my mental endurance has increased. But when facing patients who can't be saved, I still feel a little sad. I don't know how to describe that feeling of helplessness, so that Miss Tang can feel it. Yi Lian smiled. Besides, every time I walk out of the hospital, I feel that it's good to be alive. Then you should be happy to save a patient, right? Of course. My dream is to save people, Yi Lian said without thinking. This has been my dream since I was young. Yi Lian suddenly paused. Now there's one more. Oh, Tangwa was curious. What is it? Before Yi Lian could speak again, she reminded him. Dr. Yi, you're home. Tangwa looked at Yi Lian with a smile. It's late. Tomorrow will be a busy day. You've been busy for so long tonight. It's time to rest. After Yi Lian was pushed out of the car by Tangwa, he was still a little confused. Weren't they talking about dreams? She already asked him about his other dream. Why didn't she wait for him to finish talking about it? He looked at Tangwa's side profile from the car window. He felt a little reluctant to leave. In the end, he said softly, Miss Tang, I'll treat you to lunch when you're free. By the way, Miss Tang, will you visit Jiang Lin at the hospital tomorrow? Tangwa smiled and looked up with her smiling eyes. Yes. Then Tangwa disappeared from Yi Lian's sight. Yi Lian pressed his chest. He was annoyed that he didn't tell her his other dream quickly. Then he felt relieved. It seemed that he was too hasty to say it. He should find another chance to say it. Fresh flowers, fine wine, and a beautiful ring. Yi Lian went home with a smile. His heart was beating loudly. His other dream was that Miss Tang could be his girlfriend. Of course, it would be even better if she could be his wife. However, the process in between could not be omitted. The next day, Tangwa first went to the company to deal with the things that needed to be dealt with before she went to the hospital. Jing Anan was already in the hospital, talking to Jiang Lin. Jiang Lin was sitting by the window. Her eyes were lifeless, and she looked very miserable. There was no need to guess that she was doing this for Jiang Wenjing. Not long after, Jiang Wenjing came. Sure enough, when he saw that Jiang Lin didn't say anything, but her eyes were red and she was crying, his heart ached. For half a month, Jiang Lin was in this state, as if she had nothing left to live for. But in front of Jiang Wenjing, she forced a smile. Jing Ainan's results were already out. He was still unable to match. After hearing the news, the Jiang family was very silent. The Jiang couple and Jiang Lin had said that they would find a suitable kidney for her as soon as possible. The introduction made it clear that it was impossible for Jiang Wenjing to make any more sacrifices. Jiang Lin's heart was filled with resentment. She had long known that this would be the result. She could only choose to pursue Jiang Wenjing. She was already halfway there. Now, she just needed to take another step. She wanted Jiang Wenjing to experience the feeling of losing her. Then he would obediently submit. No matter what, she had to take a gamble. On this day, while Jing Ainan was busy and no one was in the hospital, Jiang Lin secretly ran out of the hospital. No one knew where she went. When Jiang Wenjing received the call, he went crazy. He directly left the conference room, without caring about anything else. Jing Ainan gathered his emotions, stood up from the table in a panic, and stumbled out of the room. Chapter 3843. Dear host, Jiang Lin secretly ran away from the hospital. She probably wanted to make Jiang Wenjing feel nervous and let him experience the feeling of losing her. The system reported. It had to be said that every step Jiang Lin took was like grabbing a man's lifeline. In the plot, if she wasn't too selfish and really touched Jiang Wenjing's bottom line, even if Jiang Wenjing liked Jing Ainan, he wouldn't necessarily do anything to Jiang Lin. After all, Jiang Lin's final ending was being sent to prison by Jiang Wenjing. Someone like the original host, who he didn't like at all, obviously didn't do anything, but her ending was so miserable. Jiang Lin was the one who hurt Jing Ainan physically and mentally. Speaking of which, Jiang Wenjing really loved Jiang Lin. Then let's help her and erase the traces of Jiang Lin. Let's make Jiang Wenjing panic for a while. If they didn't add fuel to the fire now, when would they wait? Also, push some news to Jiang Wenjing from time to time. Don't give him a chance to think about it. Even if Jiang Wenjing didn't want to be stabbed, he still had to be stabbed. He had to be stabbed, not one less. With Tanggua adding fuel to the fire, Jiang Wenjing still couldn't find Jiang Lin, even though he was so powerful. Especially the news of young women's deaths on his phone every day, which made him very confused. As soon as he got home, Jing Ainan cried. Anyway, no matter where he went, it was not quiet. When he returned to the Jiang family, he felt the indifference of his parents. Jiang Wenjing felt that they were a bit cold-blooded. Judging from their attitude, they really hoped that Jiang Lin would never come back. The attitude of the Jiang family completely angered Jiang Wenjing. He swore to find Jiang Lin and use all the power of the Jiang family. Especially when he saw the strange news, he decided that no matter what, he had to save Jiang Lin. If in the end, he really couldn't find a suitable kidney, he would give it to her. The main thing was that Jing Ainan was at home, crying every day. He didn't understand why this woman was fine in the company, but when she came home she cried. It was completely abnormal. Ah Zheng, you must find Lin Lin. She really wants to be with you all the time. I really hope that Lin Lin can continue to live. Even if our relationship is always like this, as long as Lin Lin and you are happy, I am willing. Jing Ainan's words touched Jiang Wenjing. He was a little touched, and that strange feeling rose again. However, he didn't think too much about it. He only felt that at this time, he should first find Jiang Lin. Don't worry, I'll find her. Lin Lin loves my cooking the most. When she comes back, no matter how busy I am, I will cook for her. Go to sleep first. I'll inform you as soon as I have news about Lin Lin. Jiang Wenjing was so annoyed that the dark circles under his eyes were very big. Only then did Jing Ainan feel relieved and return to her room. When she returned to her room, her expression returned to normal. She sat in front of the mirror and looked at the photo with Jiang Lin. Her voice was soft and gentle. Lin Lin, don't worry. How could Zheng bear to let you die? You are his true love. Isn't it just a kidney? He'll give it to you. Because of Tanggua's interference, Jiang Lin disappeared for 2 months. Seeing that Jiang Wenjing was about to go crazy, Jiang Lin gave herself away. She pretended to secretly go to the hospital to prescribe medicine, so that Jiang Wenjing could find out about her. However, she had not been well for the past 2 months. Her body felt very uncomfortable every day. Chapter 3844. Jiang Wenjing found Jiang Lin, and saw that she had lost a lot of weight. She looked haggard and pale, and his heart ached. Seeing Jiang Lin run away, he quickly caught up with her and hugged her. Lin, don't be stubborn. Come back with me for treatment. Do you know how worried I was about you these 2 months? Brother Zhang, I'm hopeless. The so-called conservative treatment is just delaying time. During this period, I've gone to other hospitals to ask. My situation is very bad. After choosing conservative treatment, I'll eventually reach the last step. I can't drag you down. What are you talking about? I'm not talking nonsense. I just want to find a quiet place to leave the world. I don't want to drag you down anymore. When sister found out about the match that day, she cried very sadly. Since we met, she hasn't been happy for more than a few days. Jiang Lin struggled, but she couldn't, so she stopped moving. Actually, sister has always had you in her heart. She likes you very much. At first, I was worried about you. If I could live for a long time, I definitely wouldn't give up on you because you're the most important person in my heart. Jiang Lin's face was full of tears. But I won't live for long. Since I'm going to die, I can't selfishly occupy you. With sister here, she'll take good care of you. Brother Zhang, after I die, you and sister can live a good life. Lin, don't die all day, okay? Come back with me. I won't let you die. Jiang Wenjing said firmly. As long as I have Jiang Wenjing, you won't die. No, Brother Zhang, I don't want to drag you down anymore. My body always has these problems. Who knows what will break next time? I really can't bear such a life. Even if I really don't want to leave you, I don't want to drag you down. But I really don't want to implicate you. Brother Zhang, I really can't bear to part with you. I can't bear to hurt you at all. Jiang Lin broke free from Jiang Wenjing and was about to run away. She just took 2 steps and fell to the ground. She thought Jiang Wenjing would quickly rush up to catch her, but she ran faster, and Jiang Wenjing didn't react in time. By the time she reacted, she had already fallen heavily to the ground. The pain was so painful that she almost woke up. Jiang Wenjing hurriedly took Jiang Lin away and rushed to the hospital. Jiang Lin returned to the hospital. After a checkup, her condition had worsened. Because she hadn't received any treatment in the past 2 months, her condition was even worse. In the end, the doctor's suggestion was to find a suitable kidney for Jiang Lin's operation as soon as possible. Without a suitable kidney, they could only stall for time. When Jiang Wenjing heard this news, it was as if he had heard thunder. He couldn't accept it for a while. Jiang Lin did not give him time to react. A nurse rushed in and said that Jiang Lin had tried to jump off the building. Fortunately, Tanggua had discovered her and stopped her in time. Tanggua could see through Jiang Lin's thoughts. Of course, she had to add fuel to the fire. She was very satisfied with this show. Just let me die. Once I'm dead, I'll be rid of everything and won't be a burden to anyone else. As long as I'm alive, everyone else is tired. Those who didn't know Jiang Lin's background would really think that she had chosen this path out of desperation. Under Jiang Lin's plan, Jiang Wenjing finally hugged her affectionately and said, Lin, I will save you. Just wait. I won't let you die. How can I watch you die? Chapter 3845. Therefore, Jiang Wenjing went to do the matching. This time, he chose to keep it a secret from his parents. Before he went to do the matching, he even warned Jing Anan not to let it slip. Jing Anan agreed with tears in her eyes and promised, Zheng, thank you. I will take good care of you in the future. Tanggua glanced at Jing Anan. She sounded as if Jiang Wenjing would be paralyzed in the future. However, it was auspicious. Yi Lian also heard Jing Anan's words. Jiang Lin was still his patient. Her condition was not good, so he had to check on her frequently. Now that Jiang Wenjing was willing to do the matching, he felt that Jiang Lin's life could be saved. He also felt that Jing Anan's words were a little strange. but he did not know the details and did not think much about it. Ming Huan wanted to come and take a look, but he could not find a perfect excuse. He was afraid of being misunderstood, so he did not come. Fortunately, he had Jing Ainan's contact information and could still find out some things. Later, in order to find out more, he decided to start from Yi Lian and found out what happened recently. Ming Huan felt that these things were strange, but he did not intend to look into it. However, he felt that there was something different between Jiang Wanzheng and Jiang Lin from a few words from Yi Lian. In order to confirm this, he chose to ask Tang Guo for help and found an opportunity to visit Jiang Lin with Tang Guo. After seeing the interaction between Jiang Lin and Jiang Wanzheng, the knowledgeable Ming Huan finally understood. The way he looked at Jing Ainan was filled with pity. If Jiang Wanzheng and Jiang Lin really liked each other, why did they mess with Jing Ainan? Thinking of this, he was furious. If Jiang Lin was not sick, he would have talked about this. When Ming Huan walked out of the ward, he was caught by Yi Lian in the corner. Yi Lian, what are you doing? Ming Huan was shocked and patted his chest. Don't you know that you can scare people to death? Yi Lian looked serious. Why did you come with Miss Tang? His questioning tone made Ming Huan laugh. He patted Yi Lian's shoulder and said, Hey, I heard that you've been treating Miss Tang to lunch for more than a year. Why are you still calling her Miss Tang when you're just friends? Yi Lian, it seems like this isn't your major. You're no different from a poor student. Don't talk about other things. Miss Tang is not someone you can provoke. You'd better stay away from her. Yi Lian's words attracted Ming Huan's ridicule. He really didn't want to cause any misunderstandings, so he hurriedly explained clearly. Don't worry, Miss Tang and I are just ordinary friends. I don't have any improper thoughts about her. I just want to borrow Miss Tang to come to the hospital today. You just need to remember that I won't get in your way. Brother, my luck isn't as good as yours. Ming Huan sighed sadly. You still have a chance with the person you like, but I can't be with the person I like. Miss Jing. Yi Lian was not a fool. He immediately understood what she meant. His expression was complicated. Are you talking about Miss Jing? Ming Huan nodded. Remember, don't tell anyone. I don't want to cause trouble for her. After this, Yi Lian really didn't find trouble with Ming Huan. Instead, he became more nervous. If Jiang Wanzheng didn't meet Jing Ainan and didn't break off the engagement with Miss Tang, then wouldn't he and Miss Tang have no fate? Chapter 3846. Jiang Wanzheng's match results had come out, and he could undergo the operation. If it were not for the surgery, Yi Lian would have immediately tidied himself up and confirmed their relationship to prevent any unforeseen circumstances from arising. Jiang Wanzheng kept the fact that he wanted to give a kidney to Jiang Lin a secret. On the day of the operation, the Jiang couple came to the hospital to see Jiang Lin, but they found that she was not in the ward. After asking, they found that the operation had been going on for an hour, and there was no way to stop it. Their faces turned pale in an instant, and they trembled with anger. The two of them were very regretful. They always felt that they had adopted a debt collector. If it weren't for this, their own son would not have been stabbed twice because of her. Not to mention the liver. Now he even lost a kidney. Jiang Wanzheng was in the prime of his life. Even if losing a kidney did not affect his normal life, who could predict what would happen next? But now it was too late for them to regret. They couldn't scold Jiang Lin, so they had to give Jing Ainan a bad look. Taking advantage of this time, they ordered Jing Ainan to prepare nutritious food and ordered her around. Jing Ainan didn't get angry. Instead, he looked very obedient, which made the two angry. No matter what, they couldn't let their anger go. The operation was successful, and the Jiang family was relieved. Tang Guo watched Jiang Wanzheng and Jiang Lin being pushed into the ward from inside one after another, and the corners of her mouth rose slightly. Very good. What should be done had been done. So the next step was to see how Jing Ainan wanted to perform. If Jing Ainan couldn't do it, then she would start to bite the elephant of the Jiang family. As for the hospital, she had nothing to do with it. Before Jiang Lin and Jiang Wanzheng woke up, Tang Guo left. Yi Lian looked at Tang Guo's back as she walked away. He could only watch helplessly. He decided to endure for a while longer. He would definitely find a good opportunity to make Miss Tang his girlfriend. During the recovery period, Jing Anan not only had to be busy with the company's affairs, but also came to the hospital every day to take care of the two. At present, Jing Anan's ability was very good. Jiang Wenjing found that Jing Anan could help with some company affairs, so he handed them over to her. Jiang Wenjing found that Jing Anan handled it well, so he was relieved and asked her to help with more and more things. Assistant Yang silently watched Jing Anan, sitting in the president's leather chair, and she was speechless. Didn't Mr. Jiang and Jiang Lin have a relationship? Why was such an important matter handed over to Jing Anan to handle? This Jing Anan was also a fool. He was actually willing to cover for the two of them. Now he was even helping to deal with the company's affairs. If this were to happen to her, she would definitely turn the company upside down and cause chaos. Unknowingly, during the period of Jiang Wenjing's recovery, Jing Anan's ability was recognized by the company's people. They found that their president's wife didn't seem to be so bad. His background was a little poor, but his ability to deal with problems and respond to emergencies was still quite good. If he trained more, he would still be a promising talent. Jiang Wenjing didn't know this. He only knew that Jing Anan was very obedient and did whatever she was told. He had also asked his secretary whether Jing Anan had used his special power to do anything while he was in the hospital. It was all arranged by him. That was why he had touched it. On second thought, Jiang Wenjing realized that Jing Anan was not ambitious at all. If he had not been willing to save Jiang Lin, she might not have been able to do all this. Previously, she was just forcing herself to do it. It wasn't that he didn't feel that Jing Anan would secretly reveal her adoration for him. Chapter 3847. Any man who was loved by a woman like this would feel a little touched. Since Jing Anan was obedient, sensible, and didn't want to steal Lin Lin's position, then he would just keep her. In other words, Jing Anan's obedience made Jiang Wenjing arrogant. Gradually, he rarely asked the secretary what Jing Anan was doing in the company. Anyway, Jing Anan couldn't do anything. He could only do what he was told to do. When Jiang Wenjing was discharged from the hospital and returned to the company, Jing Anan returned to her seat. She was well-behaved and especially concerned about him, which made Jiang Wenjing feel more and more comfortable with Jing Anan. Suddenly, he felt a little sorry for Jing Anan. He had married her because of Jiang Lin. Unexpectedly, she didn't complain at all. Anan. That day, Jiang Wenjing called Jing Anan to his office. Do you hate me? No. Jing Anan shook her head. You just thought of me as Lin Lin, and you didn't like me. It's better to make it clear earlier. Because I met you. I found Lin Lin, and you saved her twice. I'm already very satisfied. Alas, Anan, you're really kind, Jiang Wenjing sighed. I'm afraid my parents are very angry with Lin Lin now. My relationship with Lin Lin can only be maintained like this. I can never confess to them. Otherwise they will definitely hate Lin Lin. Then let's leave it like this. I don't want Lin Lin to be hurt. She has suffered so much. Ah Zheng, you must treat her well and don't let her suffer. Jing Anan said. As long as you are all well, I'm satisfied. If you have someone you like in the future, remember to tell me. I will let you go and hold a wedding for you. When he said this, Jiang Wenjing was actually not sincere. He already had different thoughts about Jing Anan. But since he had already asked, he could only wait for Jing Anan's answer. He was a little nervous. I won't like anyone else. Ah Zheng, that's it. It's good. Jing Anan said this and didn't explain anything. I still have something to do, so I'll go first. In Jiang Wenjing's view, Jing Anan's performance clearly showed that she still loved him. He was touched even more. Aren't Jing Anan and Jiang Lin better? Of course, she was also good. Although she was not as lively as Jiang Lin, she was as gentle as water. She was especially considerate and knew how to take care of people. He had asked his secretary. Every time he was hungry, it was Jing Anan who reminded them to give him something to eat. Jing Anan was always able to quickly understand what he needed. Sometimes when he came back from a drinking party, there would be hangover soup in the kitchen. He didn't say that it was for him, but he knew that Jing Anan had prepared it for him. Countless details of the past appeared in Jiang Wenjing's mind, making him a little absent-minded. He suddenly felt that he owed Jing Anan too much. Jiang Wenjing couldn't compensate Jing Anan with love, so he planned to compensate Jing Anan in other ways. Seeing that Jing Anan was working so hard, he checked the work she had done and decided to promote her. Under the promotion of Jiang Wenjing, Jing Anan's position in the company was getting higher and higher. Her ability was obvious to all. Many times, many people had even forgotten that she was a commoner and was Mrs. Jiang. Looking at the radiant Jing Anan, Jiang Wenjing was satisfied and a little excited. How could such an obvious change escape Jiang Lin's eyes? Jiang Lin began to be awkward. She didn't dare to pester Jiang Wenjing to do anything. Instead, she used the sweetest words to ask Jing Anan to do it. Basically, the only way to torture Jing Anan was to ask her to help make some delicious food. When the other party was tired, she would ask her to do something. Chapter 38-48. Jiang Lin wanted to eat food made with more complicated ingredients. Jing Anan was not impatient at all. She made whatever the other party wanted to eat. Over time, Jiang Wenjing suddenly found that Jing Anan's hands were red because she often handled some seafood. Once Jiang Lin clamored to eat, and Jiang Wenjing said, "Anan works so hard. Lin is more sensible. Let's eat in a few days. How about I take you out to eat?" As soon as he said this, Jiang Lin was very subtle and almost exploded on the spot. She looked at Jiang Wenjing bitterly and then looked at Jing Anan pitifully. Her accusatory look was to make Jing Anan feel guilty. "It's okay. I'll go pick seafood after work and cook when I come back." Jiang Wenjing reprimanded Jiang Lin again. Lin, you have to be more sensible." Even if he touched Jiang Lin's head and said this, Jiang Lin still hated him. She felt that Jiang Wenjing's gaze was attracted to Jing Anan. Jiang Lin felt a crisis in her heart and thought about how to torture Jing Anan. She indirectly caused some trouble for Jing Anan, basically to let Jing Anan understand that Jiang Wenjing cared about her the most, not Jing Anan. Seeing the other party's gloomy appearance, she felt happy. In order to torture Jing Anan, Jiang Lin wanted to eat all kinds of delicious food. She had a heavy taste and didn't know that eating these things would not be good for her body. Jiang Lin liked seafood the most, and Jing Anan was also best at seafood. This was because in that dream, Jiang Lin also liked seafood the most. In the dream, Jiang Wenjing, in order to please Jiang Lin, asked her to cook seafood every day. In the dream, she learned all kinds of delicious seafood and was no worse than a star chef. Seafood was a good thing, but with other ingredients, eating it for a long time was not good for the body. Ming Huan had observed Jing Anan for a long time and found that she went to pick seafood almost every day after work. One day, he finally couldn't help but ask her, as the wife of the Jiang family, why did she choose those by herself? Lin is greedy and wants to eat. Of course, I have to satisfy her. Jing Anan smiled gently. Ming Huan couldn't stand her appearance and finally exploded. "Anan, how can you endure such days? Jiang Wenjing is your husband in name, but behind your back, he is having an affair with Jiang Lin. How can you live with them peacefully under the same roof? Have you ever thought of leaving that place? Anan, you should have your own new life. Facing someone who doesn't love you. If you continue to stay there, you're just asking for humiliation." Ming Huan went berserk. The anger and concern in his eyes moved Jing Anan. She held back her tears. Seeing Ming Huan's pained expression, she finally said in a low voice, "Now is not the time. Wait a little longer. I still have many things to do." Ming Huan, who was about to go berserk, was stunned. "I'll go back first. Lin is still waiting to eat seafood. She likes my cooking the most." Jing Anan waved goodbye to Ming Huan. Ming Huan could only watch her leave in a daze. His mind was still replaying what she had said. What did she mean? Wait a little longer? There's still something left to do? Anan, what are you waiting for? Ming Huan didn't understand. He felt that Tang Gua knew something. However, when he called Tang Gua to ask her out, a familiar male voice answered the phone. "Yi Lian?" Yi Lian said. Xiao Guo went to the washroom. "If you have anything to say it quickly." "You guys?" Ming Huan was a little dumbfounded. Yi Lian's smile almost reached his ears. "We are now boyfriend and girlfriend. If you have anything to say it to me. It's the same. Xiao Guo gave me the right to say it." "No. It's nothing. I'll think about it myself. He was in a relationship and probably didn't pay attention to her. Jiang Lin put in all kinds of effort for about 2 years. One night, Jiang Wenjing went out of town and didn't come back. She woke up and planned to go downstairs to get a glass of water. She missed a step and fell down the stairs. She was dizzy from the fall and couldn't get up. She also felt that some parts of her body were a little numb and out of her control. Chapter 3849. When she was about to call Jing Anan, she remembered that she wanted to eat a special kind of seafood. Jing Anan was on leave tomorrow and would fly over today. She planned to bring the seafood back tomorrow, so she wasn't at home. Jing Anan was in the villa, and she couldn't expose her relationship with Jiang Wenjing. Jing Anan would do all the chores, so she didn't hire a helper. Therefore she was alone here. Now that she couldn't move, and was in the villa, no one would come no matter how loudly she screamed. Half of her body was getting numb, which made Jiang Lin panic. No matter how hard she struggled, she couldn't get up. In the end, the other half of her body was completely numb, and she couldn't even feel the cold floor. At this moment, Jiang Lin was in despair and couldn't help crying. Her tears flowed freely. When Jing Anan came back in the morning, she saw Jiang Lin lying on the ground with her face crooked. Seeing Jiang Lin like this, Jing Anan was stunned. She didn't expect this day to come so quickly. Jiang Lin had a stroke, and it seemed that half of her body would be paralyzed. Jiang Lin could only stare at Jing Anan, completely speechless. She thought that Jing Anan would be anxious and cry, but she just calmly called the ambulance and sat aside. Don't worry, Lin Lin. I've already called the ambulance for you. Your situation is terrible now. Your face is crooked and your mouth is crooked. You don't seem to feel anything here. Jing Anan touched Jiang Lin's arm. Jiang Lin really didn't feel anything and tears kept flowing. Lin Lin, don't worry. Even if you can't move in the future, I'll take good care of you. Jing Anan smoothed the messy hair on Jiang Lin's face. You're my sister. Mom and Dad asked me to take good care of you. Jiang Lin was in despair. Would she be paralyzed for the rest of her life? No, she was still so young. How could she be paralyzed like this? Lin Lin, don't worry. Even if you're paralyzed and can't talk or walk, I won't take Ajeng away from you. Ajeng is yours. No one can take him away. After chatting with Jiang Lin for a while, Jing Anan took out her phone and called Tanggua. At this moment, Tanggua was on vacation with Yi Lian, who finally got a break. Miss Jing. Tanggua was a little surprised to receive Jing Anan's call. She only knew that Jing Anan had been cooking seafood for Jiang Lin every day for the past few years. Of course, he had added some ingredients, especially ingredients that could easily cause paralysis. If one ate too much seafood, it was easy to have a stroke. If other foods were added, it would be even easier. Jiang Lin's health was not good. Eating too much seafood was definitely not good for her. It might even cause a series of other diseases. Jiang Lin would probably not be able to resist those high-sugar desserts. Miss Tang, Lin Lin fell down. Tanggua was stunned. What happened? Is he okay? Lin Lin is conscious, but although her life isn't in danger, I just checked and found that one side of her body is unconscious. It seems like she had a stroke. Tanggua had turned on the loudspeaker, so Yi Lian also heard it. He asked, how many places are you unable to feel? Dr. Yi? Yi Lian replied, it's me. I tried again just now. I think I can't feel more than half of my body. Lin Lin's body is cold. Maybe she fell down in the middle of the night. I've already called the emergency number, but we still need to go to the hospital to see the specific situation. Yi Lian was not a professional in this field, so there was nothing he could do to help. Chapter 3850. After he hung up the phone, Yi Lian couldn't help but mutter, this is the most unfortunate patient in my care. She underwent 2 major operations, and now she has a stroke. Although he didn't like Jiang Lin's personality, he couldn't help but feel that she was too unlucky. She won't be your patient in the future. You won't be responsible for her stroke, right? Yi Lian shook his head. I'm not an all-rounder doctor. Why else would the hospital be divided into so many departments? It takes so much time to learn just one department. All-rounder doctors might only exist in legends. Anyway, I'm not one. Oh, then are you still on vacation? Tangwa asked tentatively. Of course. I've treated so many patients. I can't go back and take care of them all. Yi Lian felt that Tangwa's words were full of traps. If he didn't answer well, he might be sent back to the hospital to work. Jiang Lin was really paralyzed. If she was immediately sent to the hospital when she had a stroke, there was a high chance that she could be saved, and it wouldn't cause any other problems. However, Jiang Lin stayed on the floor for the whole night and didn't receive any treatment. When Jing Anan rushed back and sent Jiang Lin to the hospital, it was already too late. What was worse was that after the examination, Jiang Lin had a kidney stone. It was already very big, and she would probably have to be operated on again. When she heard this, Jiang Lin was so angry that she fainted this time. When she woke up, she saw Jing Anan sitting by the bed and peeling an apple. For a moment, she looked at Jing Anan in confusion. Right now, half of Jiang Lin's face could not be felt. Because of the fall, half of her face was crooked. Her eyebrows, eyes, and mouth were also crooked. She used to be considered pretty, but now she was as ugly as she could be. However, she didn't look in the mirror. Now, she just wanted to speak, but she couldn't because her mouth was numb, and only a small part of it could feel. Linlin, you're awake? Jing Anan saw that Jiang Lin had woken up. Don't be agitated. I'll get the doctor to save you. Hearing Jing Anan's comforting words, Jiang Lin wasn't happy at all. Save? Was there a chance to recover? Why couldn't she feel anything in her body? She couldn't feel anything at all? She used one of her arms to pinch the numb parts of her body. No matter how hard she pinched, she didn't feel any pain. Jiang Lin was desperate. Zheng will be back soon. I've already informed him. Jiang Lin had gone on a trip, and Jing Anan had informed them. They should be back soon. In fact, they didn't have much patience with Jiang Lin. Now that they heard that Jiang Lin was paralyzed, the two of them felt very complicated. They regretted their decision to adopt a daughter back then. Zhang's is Jiang. SSSSSS. The Jiang couple and Jiang Wenjing came back one after another. They couldn't accept the fact that Jiang Lin was lying on the bed with a ferocious face and was really paralyzed. Jiang Test Jiang. Jiang Ti Jiang Wenjing was also stunned when he saw Jiang Lin. Right now, Jiang Lin's entire face was crooked. Because she had been throwing tantrums recently, she was unable to calm down and plan properly, making her look quite savage. She no longer looked as pitiful and beautiful as she used to. Chapter 38:51. Jiang Wenjing didn't hug Jiang Lin directly like before. Jiang Lin's current appearance really made it impossible for him to hug her and comfort her. Jiang Lin felt it and instantly burst into tears. She tried her best to soften her facial features. Finally, Jiang Wenjing sympathized with her and quickly hugged her to comfort her. In fact, Jiang Lin's heart was full of resentment. At this time, she didn't like Jiang Wenjing at all. She knew that Jiang Wenjing didn't really like her at all. Maybe he liked her. If she wasn't good-looking, Jiang Wenjing would never like her again. Even if there were thousands of resentment, Jiang Lin didn't dare to show it. She still wanted to recover. She didn't want to enjoy everything. She didn't want to be paralyzed forever and become a disabled person. She glanced at Jing Anan, who was sitting next to her. Now she was dressed like a successful woman. She was even more panicked. She didn't know when Jing Anan became like this. Why did her memory always stop at Jing Anan, doing chores in the villa, every day without complaint? She had to cook for her, take care of her, and run around for business every day. She looked flustered. Although Jing Anan's skin was fair, and her appearance was gentle and beautiful, her capable and experienced temperament made her feel uncomfortable. After a period of treatment in the hospital, Jiang Lin's condition didn't improve. Because she still had a kidney disease, she was stabbed again. When she almost recovered, she was taken out of the hospital. The Jiang couple's attitude was vague. Jing Anan was not afraid of trouble at all. She wanted to take Jing Anan to the villa to take care of her. The Jiang couple was relieved. It was good that Jiang Lin was taken care of. They didn't want to see her at all now. Prompt. The system detected that the next page of the current chapter can't be loaded. Please click the middle of the screen, the bottom right corner, or the top right corner to find the close reading button to complete the content. Jiang Lin didn't dare to lose her temper. She was afraid that Jiang Wenjing would ignore her. Every time Jiang Wenjing appeared, she tried to make a pitiful expression to arouse Jiang Wenjing's sympathy. In addition, Jing Anan took good care of Jiang Lin and didn't cause any trouble for Jiang Wenjing. Jiang Wenjing didn't find it troublesome to comfort Jiang Lin every day. Every day, after taking care of Jiang Lin, Jing Anan went to the company with Jiang Wenjing. Basically, the two of them went home together. For the latest chapter, please visit Transmigration. Female lead calm down. Qianqian / Qianqianx /47/47211 Every time Jing Anan carefully took care of Jiang Lin, Jiang Wenjing would stand aside and look at her with a very different look. When Jiang Lin found out, she was so angry that her chest was about to explode. She wanted to jump up and kill Jing Anan. Dear readers, I'm the author Du Liao. Recently, due to the feedback from many readers, I'm recommending a free app. It supports downloading and listening to books with zero advertisements. You can almost find all the books. For more information, please spend half a minute to follow the WeChat public account bookfinding magic tool. Click plus on the upper right corner of WeChat, add friend, select public account, enter Zayashishenki. Search and add a public account, then follow the instructions. Readers, please pay attention. Jing Anan seemed to have found nothing. He was always smiling and taking care of her so gently that no one could find anything wrong. In Jiang Lin's opinion, Jing Anan wanted to replace her position, so her attitude towards Jing Anan was not friendly at all. For the latest chapter, please visit Transmigration. Female lead calm down. Qianqian / Qianqianx /47/47211 In the end, she couldn't hold back her temper at all. She got angry at the slightest thing and knocked over the things Jing Anan gave her with her other arm. Jing Anan always patiently picked them up and cleaned them. Once or twice, Jiang Wenjing thought that Jiang Lin was sick, which was understandable. After a few times, Jiang Wenjing felt that Jiang Lin was being unreasonable. One day, Jiang Lin couldn't help but knock over the porridge again. If Jing Anan didn't step back quickly, the porridge might have spilled all over her. Domain name: Qianqianx. Prompt: the system detected that the content of the next page of the current chapter cannot be loaded. Please click the middle of the screen, the bottom right corner, or the top right corner to find the Close Reading button to complete the content. Top. Chapter 3852. Jiang Wenjing was a little angry and scolded. Lin, why are you so insensible? Anan has to work every day and take care of you. It's okay if you don't understand, but you still lose your temper. If you continue to be like this, I can only hire a nurse to take care of you. In fact, Jiang Wenjing had been dissatisfied for a long time and asked Jing Anan to take care of Jiang Lin. Because now Jing Anan was also an important figure in the company and was very busy every day. Even so, she was still willing to squeeze out time to take care of Jiang Lin. In the past few months, she had lost a lot of weight, which made his heart ache. When she went home, she was still tortured by Jiang Lin. He really had an impulse to send Jiang Lin out of the villa and ask someone to take care of her. But Jing Anan would definitely not agree, so he stopped thinking about it. Jiang Lin felt something and tears suddenly flowed out. Zheng, Lin is a patient and can't move now. I know she feels uncomfortable. Jing Anan picked up the bowl and chopsticks and was not angry at all. She was not the one who was paralyzed. Why was she angry? Wasn't Jiang Lin the best at being considerate? Now she wanted to show Jiang Lin how Jiang Wenjing was. She wanted to show Jiang Lin how Jiang Wenjing gradually moved his eyes to her. She didn't like Jiang Wenjing and didn't care about his love at all, but she enjoyed the process. Now it was Jiang Lin, and later it would be Jiang Wenjing. Neither of them could escape. Anan, let's go eat first. You have been busy for so long and haven't eaten yet. Jiang Wenjing looked at Jiang Lin's ferocious appearance and felt even more unhappy. He thought that she was too insensible. Don't starve. Jiang Wenjing's concern for Jing Anan was like stabbing a knife in Jiang Lin's body. Jing Anan was persuaded and went downstairs to eat with Jiang Wenjing. Jing Anan personally ate the meal. Prompt: The system detected that the content of the next page of the current chapter could not be loaded. Please click the middle of the screen, click the lower right corner, or the upper right corner, to find the close reading button to complete the content. No matter how busy she was, she would prepare the food for Jiang Lin and Jiang Wenjing. Her cooking skills were very good. Jiang Wenjing wanted to invite a chef back, but he felt that with a chef, he couldn't eat the food made by Jing Anan, so he was a little reluctant. Every dish Jing Anan made was to his taste. It was as if they were specially prepared for him. Sometimes, he would stand at the entrance of the kitchen and watch Jing Anan cook carefully. He could feel that Jing Anan liked him, but at the same time, he also felt that because of Jiang Lin's existence and their relationship, Jing and Anji would bury that kind of love in the bottom of his heart and not reveal it. For the latest chapter, please visit Transmigration. Female lead, calm down. Qianqian, //Kiankianks /47/47211 This kind of heart-pounding feeling was something that Jiang Lin could not give him. Jiang Wenjing found an opportunity to say these things, but he was rejected by Jing Anan. Dear readers, I'm the author Du Liao. Recently, due to the feedback from many readers, I'm recommending a free app. It supports downloading and listening to books with zero advertisements. You can almost find all the books. For more information, please spend half a minute to follow the official WeChat account Book Finding Magic Tool. Click plus on the upper right corner of WeChat, add friend, select official account, enter Zayashishenki. Search for and add a public account, then follow the instructions. Readers, please pay attention. Zheng, let's not talk about this, okay? It's not good for Linlin's condition. Linlin needs you now. Under Jing Anan's insistence, Jiang Wenjing had to give up. For the latest chapter, please visit Transmigration. Female lead, calm down. Qianqian, //Kiankianks /47/47211 Jiang Lin really wanted to stand up. While the two of them were not at home, she planned to stand up by herself. However, she did not manage to stand up. Instead, she fell down again, and her physical condition became even worse. After this, Jiang Wenjing hired a person to take care of Jiang Lin. At first, this person was more careful. Later, he found that Jiang Lin could not move at all and could not speak. At most, she could only express her thoughts. Therefore, this person became greedy and searched Jiang Lin's room for good things in front of her. He was not careful at all when taking care of Jiang Lin. Domain name, Kiankianks. Prompt. The system has detected that the next page of the current chapter cannot be loaded. Please click the middle of the screen, the lower right corner, or the upper right corner, to find the close reading button to complete the content. The top. Chapter 3853. When Jing Anan came back, Jiang Lin complained to her. Jing Anan actually understood, but pretended to misunderstand. What does Linlin want to eat? The helper was actually very nervous, but when she realized that Jing Anan didn't understand Jiang Lin's words at all, she became bolder. As soon as Jing Anan left, she pinched Jiang Lin's thigh and warned her not to talk nonsense. Otherwise, she would be in trouble. Jiang Lin didn't believe it and planned to complain to Jing Anan, but she failed every time, which made the helper even bolder. Anyway, it was enough to only take Jiang Lin's things. She didn't dare to touch the other things in the house. Jiang Lin gradually became desperate. She felt like she couldn't cry for help, so she didn't complain to Jing Anan anymore. Minghuan hadn't seen Jing Anan for a long time. He only asked someone to inquire about her current situation. He really wanted to see her. He didn't have any business dealings now, so he decided to ask Tanggua to help him with this matter. Therefore, Tanggua asked Jing Anan out. At the same time, Minghuan was also there. Tanggua knew that Jing Anan was in Dongjin Dynasty. Now, she was waiting for Jing Anan's next step. Jiang Lin was almost tortured. Who would be next? Jiang Wenjing. No, she guessed that it wasn't Jiang Wenjing for the time being. Now that Jiang Wenjing had collapsed, it was disadvantageous for Jing Anan. She couldn't get a single cent. The power of the Jiang family was in Jiang Wenjing's hands. Once something happened to him, the power would definitely be taken back by the Jiang couple. So the Jiang couple was next? How was she going to deal with the Jiang couple? Of course, she was going to provoke a fight between Jiang Wenjing and the Jiang couple, and let Jiang Wenjing fight the Jiang couple personally. Then, how was she going to provoke a conflict? Jiang Lin. After Tang Gua asked Jing Anan out, she walked away, leaving space for her and Ming Huan. She chose to sit on the other side. She didn't care about what Jing Anan and Ming Huan were talking about. She just didn't know if Jing Anan's next move was as she guessed. She didn't know what Jing Anan said to Ming Huan, but when he left, he was a little happy and relieved. "Thank you, Miss Tang," Jing Anan said. "By the way, I don't think we can hide Zheng and Lin's relationship from Dad and Mom." Jing Anan's words made Tang Gua understand that he was going to expose their relationship. "I'll be busy for a while. No matter what, I have to take good care of Lin. Jing Anan stood up. "When I'm done, I'll treat Miss Tang to a meal." Jing Anan said goodbye to Tang Gua and left with her bag. Tang Gua looked at Jing Anan's back. Although he was thin, he gave off a feeling that he could explode with great power at any time. She rested her chin on her hand, and a smile appeared on her face. The show was about to begin. Then let's wait and see. The Jiang couple received an anonymous email. The content of the email was an ambiguous video. What made them angry was that the male and female protagonists of the video were Jiang Lin and Jiang Wenjing. After watching all the videos, the two of them were so angry that they almost fainted. The message at the end of the email even blackmailed them, demanding that they pay 100 million to keep the videos from being leaked. Now they still had 3 days to prepare. These videos were taken at home, which was the villa where Jiang Wenjing lived. Some were in the car, and some were in Jiang Wenjing's office. It was so humiliating that the couple almost took a knife to kill Jiang Lin. The couple rushed to Jiang Wenjing's place in a hurry and quarreled with each other. This time, they really regretted adopting Jiang Lin. "Divorce," Father Jiang said. "Divorce Jing Anan immediately and ask her to leave with Jiang Lin. The Jiang family can't afford to lose face like this." Anyway, Jing Anan had signed a prenuptial agreement and couldn't take anything from the Jiang family. Compared to those videos, the couple didn't want these two scourges to stay in the Jiang family. Chapter 3854. Dad, Mom, how can you do this? What did Lin do wrong? What did Anan do wrong? Jiang Wenjing felt that the Jiang couple was being unreasonable. They wanted him to divorce and kick Jiang Lin and Jing Anan out. They were too unreasonable. Let's not talk about Jing Anan. Let's talk about Jiang Lin. Even if he realized that he was attracted to Jing Anan, he never thought of chasing Jiang Lin away. Jiang Lin had been in the Jiang family for so many years. He didn't understand why the Jiang couple wanted to kick her out. Was it because of the things in the video? He suddenly recalled Jiang Lin's painful expression when she had told him that she only wanted to stay by his side quietly, and that she did not want any status. Now he understood Jiang Lin's actions more deeply. His parents couldn't accept that Jiang Lin had that kind of relationship with him. "I don't care." Mr. Zhang's face was ugly. He pointed at Jiang Wenjing and said, "Jiang Lin can stay. Anyway, she's paralyzed. If we kick her out, we'll be too heartless. Give her a house and find someone to take care of her. But you and Jing Anan must divorce." "Yes, Zheng, you must divorce Jing Anan. If this matter really gets out, the Jiang family will lose face." When they agreed to marry Jiang Wenjing and Jing Anan, they thought that since the prenuptial agreement was signed, they would let go because their son was too stubborn. That way, the Jiang family wouldn't suffer a loss. Now, the two sisters were more troublesome than the other. They were most angry with Jiang Lin. She wanted their son's liver and kidney, and now she wanted to ruin the Jiang family's reputation. They were too impulsive before. They couldn't kick Jiang Lin out. They just needed to find a place and find someone to take care of her. However, Jing Anan and Jiang Wenjing must divorce. They had a feeling that Jiang Wenjing didn't benefit from being involved with the two sisters. The Jiang family was in chaos now, and they couldn't make any more trouble. As for the 100 million that had threatened them, the two of them had already hired someone to help them track down the culprit. As long as they tracked down who did it, the person who did it would be in jail for the rest of his life. 100 million, don't even think about it. Lin, I'll ask someone to take care of you. I won't divorce Anan." When Jiang Wenjing saw the two of them like that, he felt rebellious. "This matter is decided. As for who sent the email to you, I will find someone to find out." From Jiang Wenjing's point of view, the person who sent this was just after money. As long as the other party showed himself, he would definitely be able to find some clues. When the Jiang couple still wanted to say something, Jiang Wenjing turned around and left. The couple was so angry that they scolded him for being unfilial. "Madam Host, don't worry, I've already strengthened Jing Ainan's defenses. No one will be able to find out that she's the one who sent the email. Oh right, I also saw that Jing Ainan was planning to send a second email. The general idea was for them to donate the 100 million anonymously. In other words, the Jiang couple's escape route was blocked. I wonder if they'll give up and let this matter fester." Tang Guo pondered for a moment and said, "Pretend to be an anonymous hacker and help Jing Ainan. Threaten the couple. If they don't comply, post the video of Jiang Wenjing and Jiang Lin on all major platforms. You can teach them a lesson when appropriate. For the sake of Jiang Group's share price, they will compromise." Chapter 3855. Although she could not make the Jiang family collapse for the time being, Tang Guo was still happy to make the Jiang couple lose some money. The couple from the Jiang family were not good people. The system followed Tang Guo's instructions and let the couple experience the hacking skills of the system. The system can manipulate any content on their mobile phones at will. Unless the couple smashed their mobile phones and ran out of battery, they wouldn't be able to see the content on their mobile phones. Otherwise, they would never be able to control the content they saw. It was all what the mysterious hacker wanted them to see. The couple was terrified. The hacker even threatened that if they did not do as he said, some things they did not want would be seen on the internet. The couple had no choice but to reply to the email and ask the mysterious hacker what the deal was. When Jing Ainan received their reply, she felt a little strange. Why did they agree so readily? But she did not think too much about it. From Jing Ainan's point of view, if this kind of video was leaked, it would be bad for the Jiang family. Before she could use her trump card, the couple compromised and avoided the risk. She replied to the couple, "Donate it. Donate it anonymously to the place I specify." Since it was the place she specified, it would not be easy for something to go wrong. She did not want to take the money. She just wanted to make the couple bleed a little and cause conflict in the Jiang family. If she took the money, she would easily expose herself. There was still the Jiang family waiting for her. There was no need to expose herself to danger for the sake of immediate benefits. Thinking of the Jiang couple, Jing Ainan was filled with anger. When the Jiang couple received the reply, their faces turned ugly. During this period, they considered for 3 days. However, during these 3 days, some inexplicable content would appear on their televisions and cell phones at home. They hired computer experts, but they could not solve these problems. In the end, they could only admit defeat. According to Jing Ainan, they gathered 100 million yuan and donated it anonymously to the places Jing Ainan specified. The Jiang couple, who were bleeding a lot, hated Jiang Lin and Jing Ainan even more. Especially Mrs. Jiang. She could not figure it out. She thought that Jiang Lin was here to collect the debt, and Jing Ainan was an accomplice. Jing Ainan had to go to work during the day. She did not go to the company to make a scene. Instead, she went to the villa to visit Jiang Lin. In Jiang Lin's villa, there was only one helper taking care of her. She was originally a maid who wasn't sad, and even bullied Jiang Lin. After receiving Jiang Lin's mother's permission to give her a break, she happily got off work. After the helper left, Jiang Lin's mother went to Jiang Lin's room. Seeing Jiang Lin's crooked mouth and slanted eyebrows with a ferocious expression, he was furious. If she had not adopted Jiang Lin back then, would they have lost so much? Now Mother Jiang felt that Jiang Lin was a scourge. Thinking about how Jiang Lin had caused her son to be stabbed twice and lose so much, it turned out that Jiang Lin was secretly seducing her son. Furious, she took 2 steps forward and raised her hand to slap Jiang Lin's face. "Little bitch, vixen shameless, I spit on you." Jiang Lin was originally a little happy when she saw Mother Jiang coming to see her. She was thinking about how to express it, so that Mother Jiang could see that she was not doing well. Recently, she had already realized that Jing Anan had a vicious heart. She used the most gentle voice and words to do the most vicious thing. When she saw Jing Anan, she felt her hair stand on end, and was extremely frightened. Chapter 3856. Who told you to seduce Ah Zheng? Who told you to seduce Ah Zheng? I'll beat you to death. Mrs. Jiang was satisfied with the slap, and couldn't help but beat Jiang Lin up. What did the Jiang family do to you? Why did you have to harm Ah Zheng? You caused Ah Zheng to be stabbed twice for no reason. His liver was cut once, and he even lost a kidney. I was wondering why Ah Zheng would make such a huge sacrifice. So it was all because of you, you little bitch. Half of Jiang Lin's body was paralyzed, and she could only use one arm and one leg to struggle. However, she could only lie down and couldn't use much strength to fight against Mrs. Jiang. The nerves on her face were also damaged, and she couldn't speak at all. At most, she could only scream. Mrs. Jiang was even angrier when she saw her like this. If it weren't for Jiang Lin, would she have lost so much? How could 100 million yuan be taken out so easily? In order to save up the money, they even bought several properties at a low price. The more Mrs. Jiang thought about it, the angrier she became, and the more ruthless she became. Slaps, pinches, and hits. She used everything she could think of. Whether it was Mrs. Jiang or Jiang Lin, who was being beaten, they didn't expect there to be surveillance cameras in the room. At this moment, 2 people were watching this scene. I remember that in the plot, Mrs. Jiang was coaxed by Jiang Lin. Even when Jiang Lin made a mistake in the end, Mrs. Jiang still pleaded for her in front of Jiang Wenzheng. Really, if you don't hurt yourself and your son, you don't know what real pain is. Tang Guo looked at the scene of Jiang Lin being beaten in the surveillance camera without any emotion. Host, I learned 2 things. The first is, don't persuade people to do good if you don't know their pain. The second is, if the fire doesn't burn your feet, you will never know the taste of pain. Along the way with his host, he had seen too many people like this. When things didn't happen to them, they would always act as if they were in the right, desperately trying to persuade others to forgive them, take a step back, and leave some leeway in their actions. However, didn't these words all depend on the situation? Those people didn't know that they had already walked to the edge. If they took a step back, it wouldn't be the sea, the sky, and the sky, but a bottomless abyss. In the previous worlds that the host had experienced, he was still an extremely stupid system. Come to think of it, that was the time when the host had gone dark. She loved to torment people in a world the most. She would use extreme methods to make those who had bullied her fall into despair and pain. At that time, the host wasn't so reasonable and wasn't calm at all. It was as if she didn't want to calm down at all. Every time she did something, she did it in a big way, as if she wanted everyone to know that she was a lunatic and a bad person. In those small worlds, countless people tried to persuade her to be kinder, to take a step back, and say that some people were innocent. There was one thing he was sure of. No matter how evil his host became, even if she could watch others suffer, she would not take the initiative to harm people who had no grudges with her. At that time, this might be her bottom line. Every time, she would torture those people until they were beyond redemption. Then, she would leave that world with a smile on her face. This made them angry out of humiliation, but they couldn't do anything to her. As for her funeral, she never considered it. Once a person left that world, they would leave forever. They were born with nothing, and when they died, they would leave with nothing, so why should they care? It was fine as long as it felt good. Chapter 3857. Jing Anan was also in a private room. She was holding her phone, which was showing the surveillance footage of Jiang Linlin's room. Seeing Jiang Lin get beaten up, she didn't show any satisfaction or anger on her face. She stared at the phone screen without blinking. Her lips were moving up and down gently. Listening carefully, she was saying, "Lin, does it hurt? It must be very painful. However, it shouldn't be as painful as being chased out in the rain after being stabbed and having to abort your child. It was not as painful as watching one's own child being harmed here and there, was it?" It shouldn't be as painful as being helpless to find out that the people you care about are being harmed one by one, right? And then what's wrong? Ming Huan had asked Jing Anan to talk about a project today. Jing Anan's position in the company now couldn't be underestimated. She could be in charge of some big projects. As long as there was a good project, Ming Huan would look for Jing Anan. Ming Huan didn't expect to find Jing Anan staring at the phone screen with tears all over her face. She looked especially sad. How could he describe that feeling? Just looking at Jing Anan's eyes and tears made him feel like his heart was about to break. It made him call out, Anan unconsciously. This call of Anan was filled with concern and worry. Jing Anan exited the surveillance footage unhurriedly. She didn't panic at all. After turning off the phone screen, she took the tissue from Ming Huan and wiped the tears on her face. What's wrong? Ming Huan saw that Jing Anan seemed fine and asked again. Jing Anan wiped the tears off her face and shook her head. I thought that you didn't come, so I watched a TV drama for a while. One of the characters in it was too pitiful. I saw her adoptive mother angry and bullying her, so I couldn't help but sympathize. So you were watching a TV drama? Ming Huan's heart relaxed. It must be some tragic drama. Jing Anan nodded. Yes, although the plot is a little melodramatic, it's very immersive. It made me cry. It's not a bad thing to cry occasionally. Ever since you came back, I feel that you're too quiet, as if you're keeping everything in your heart. It's good to vent it out, so that your body won't hurt. However, I still suggest that if there's anything, you can talk to me. Ming Huan said, Don't misunderstand. I don't mean anything else. It's just, all right. Jing Anan wanted to listen to Ming Huan's words. This person was like this. He obviously wanted to treat her well, but because of their identities, he would always maintain a certain distance. She didn't know if he was torturing her or torturing himself. However, such days would not last for long. After the Jiang couple, it was Jiang Wenjing. She had to think about it carefully, so that the Jiang couple couldn't interfere with what Jiang Wenjing did. Jing Anan glanced at the phone and made a decision. Abusing a paralyzed person. If the evidence was conclusive, this person would probably go to jail, right? Mother Jiang was too cruel. How could she treat her sister like that? Anan. Ming Huan noticed that Jing Anan was distracted. You're not in a good state today. Why don't you go back and rest first? We'll talk about the project tomorrow. In any case, if there are no accidents, I will definitely prioritize working with you. After all, this project was prepared for her. No, let's begin. After hitting Jiang Lin, Mother Jiang was a little scared when she saw Jiang Lin's sorry state. Chapter 3858. If Jiang Wenjing found out that she had hit Jiang Lin without any regard for the consequences, he might make a fuss. Most importantly, if this matter were to spread, it would definitely be disgraceful. At that time, everyone would laugh at the Jiang family, saying that she bullied a paralyzed person. Then, she would really have no face to stay in the circle. Therefore, Jiang Lin's mother hurriedly tidied up Jiang Lin and called the helper back. The helper looked at Jiang Lin's bruised and swollen face and was shocked. Then, she looked at Mother Jiang's warning eyes and seemed to understand something. Come over and take a look. Help Lin wash up. She was too excited and accidentally fell. Mother Jiang said. The helper understood and quickly nodded. Yes, madam. I'll help Miss Lin wash up now. Then come out. I'll remind you of some things. In the living room, Mother Jiang took off some of her accessories and gave them to the helper. She looked at her meaningfully and then left. The helper was tactful. Although she didn't know why Mother Jiang hit Jiang Lin, as long as Mother Jiang came, she would benefit a lot. Most importantly, when Mother Jiang left, she did say that she would come to see Jiang Lin in a few days. The next time she came, Jiang Lin would probably be beaten again. The helper was still wondering if she should figure out the reason. Maybe she could make a fortune again. Then she dismissed the idea. If it was a terrible secret, she wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. It was better to pretend not to know. It was not bad to get some benefits. When Jing Anan came back, the helper told her with a face full of self-blame that when she went to the kitchen to help Jiang Lin cook, Jiang Lin wanted to see her and accidentally fell down. The main reason was that the helper found that Jing Anan had always trusted her. In addition, Jiang Lin was restless and often fell down from the bed. Jing Anan would definitely believe her. Sure enough, Jing Anan believed her and just asked her to be more careful. Seeing Jing Anan enter the room with a tired face, the helper heaved a sigh of relief. Poor Jiang Lin. After being beaten, she had no one to complain. She was so angry that she cried and screamed in the room. Unfortunately, no matter how much she screamed, she could only cry and couldn't express herself clearly, especially when there were servants who were eyeing her covetously, pinching her at every turn. Her fate was in the other party's hands. She really couldn't cry for help. Jiang Lin's mother came to see Jiang Lin from time to time. Every time she thought of Jiang Wenjing's rebellious behavior, she would slap Jiang Lin a few times. When the helper saw that Jiang Lin's face was swollen, he tactfully reminded her not to just hit her face. Otherwise, it would be difficult to explain. After that, Jiang Lin's mother stopped hitting Jiang Lin's face. She only pinched Jiang Lin's sensitive parts. It was so painful that Jiang Lin started to doubt her life. She could only cry and howl. She had never thought that she, a young lady of the Jiang family, would fall to such a state one day. There were two people in the audience, Jing Anan and Tanghua. Tanghua didn't know what Jing Anan was going to do, but she wasn't in a hurry. So far, everything Jing Anan had done was really out of her expectations, but she felt that it was very reasonable. In the plot, the naive and sweet Jing Anan actually became even more secretive after her transformation, which surprised her. But when she thought of Jing Anan's experience, she didn't think it was strange. Until one day, when Jing Anan had lunch with Jiang Wenjing at noon, he suddenly said, "Ah Zheng, we've been working continuously for a week. Today, we came back from a business trip and haven't seen Lin Lin yet. I don't know how she is, I miss her a little." Chapter 38:59. Then let's go back after dinner. Jiang Wenjing knew how much Jing Anan cared about her sister, so he comforted her. "By the way, Ah Zheng, I think I can use the surveillance camera to check the situation. I asked someone to install a surveillance camera in Lin Lin's room before, but I changed my phone. The one with the software is at home. I'll ask the surveillance company if they can send me one immediately. They should have my account number recorded." Jiang Wenjing was a little surprised, but he felt that it was normal. After all, Jing Anan really cared about Jiang Lin. He said, "Then let's install it first. Lin Lin will be happy to know that you care about her so much." The more he got along with Jing Anan, the more fascinated he was with her. Recently, the Jiang couple had been using the excuse of seeing him to persuade him to divorce, which made him very annoyed. He basically hung up on the two of them. It turned out that he had good taste. Jing Anan was a good girl. Jing Anan was already installing the software, which was just sent to her by the surveillance company. After all, this phone was not installed. The previous phone had been eliminated because of the lack of memory. Jiang Wenjing did not doubt that Jing Anan spent the most time with him every day. Other than taking care of Jiang Lin, the rest of the time was contributed to the company. Because of Jiang Lin, Jing Anan did not give him a reply, but he felt that Jing Anan still cared about him. So far, this was enough. The two of them were legal husband and wife. It was only a matter of time before they went further. "Lin Lin." Suddenly, Jing Anan shouted and accidentally dropped the phone on the ground. She hurriedly picked it up. Jiang Wenjing wanted to help, but it was too late. A passing man bent down to help Jing Anan pick up the phone. He wanted to return the phone to Jing Anan, but when he saw the screen, he frowned slightly and clicked on the surveillance camera to watch it carefully. "Anan, what's wrong?" Jing Anan quickly snatched the phone back and looked at the screen with red eyes. Jiang Wenjing felt that something was wrong and also came over to take a look. Anger in his heart came out. It turned out that they just saw a woman beating Jiang Lin. Because the person's back was facing them, the surveillance camera showed a small figure, and the person's face could not be seen. But he could see that Jiang Lin's face was full of tears. "Ah Zheng, let's go back quickly." Of course, Jiang Wenjing agreed. He did not care about the food at all. "I think you should call the police while you're at it." The man who had picked up the phone earlier reminded them appropriately. At the same time, He took out his ID and showed it to them. "I'll go with you." Jiang Wenjing didn't say anything. Jiang Lin nodded with tears in her eyes. They were in the city, while Jiang Lin's villa was in the suburbs. The main reason was that it was quieter. Jiang Wenjing never thought that his mother would go there. Previously, Mother Jiang had never revealed that she would visit Jiang Lin. So when the man suggested calling the police, he did not react. The man, who was a police officer, had already taken out his phone to help call the police. The main thing was that if they were to act, it should be faster. At this time, there might be a traffic jam in the city. Mrs. Jiang didn't expect that the police would break in and arrest her while she was having fun beating up Jiang Lin. Before Jing Anan and the others returned, the police had already found the surveillance cameras in the house and made a copy. The surveillance footage from the past few days had been kept relatively intact, and it was enough to be used as evidence. Chapter 3860. Jing Anan and Jiang Wenjing arrived. When they saw Mrs. Jiang and the surveillance cameras, the atmosphere became very quiet. The maid was also in the surveillance cameras. Her behavior did not escape punishment. The people present were also very surprised when they found out that the person who beat Jiang Lin was Mrs. Jiang. After all, Jiang Lin was the daughter of the Jiang family, and Mrs. Jiang was her adoptive mother. Why would she beat her adoptive daughter? They couldn't figure it out, but it didn't stop Mrs. Jiang from bullying Jiang Lin. The evidence was conclusive, and they just needed to take her away. Of course, with the power of the Jiang family, they might be able to protect Mrs. Jiang. But Jing Anan certainly wouldn't let Mrs. Jiang escape. Tang Gua, who was watching all of this, wouldn't give the Jiang family any chance. Tongzi released the video of Mrs. Jiang beating her adoptive daughter to the internet. Let the Jiang family not dare to do anything out of line. The system followed Tang Gua's instructions and released the video, which no one could delete except for him, to all the major platforms. For a moment, the whole society was discussing it. After Mr. Jiang knew about this matter, he didn't dare to use any power at all. At this time, if he still couldn't see something fishy, he wouldn't be a person who had been in the business for most of his life. After learning that the surveillance cameras were installed by Jing Anan, he suspected that Jing Anan planned all of this. When he found Jing Anan and Jiang Wenjing, Mr. Jiang said to Jiang Wenjing with a gloomy face, "Don't be used by people with ulterior motives. These two sisters are more tricks than the other." "Dad, what do you mean? Do you mean that Mom beat Lin up because of someone else's plan?" Jiang Wenjing's words choked Mr. Jiang. He couldn't explain this point. He understood that Mrs. Jiang beat Jiang Lin. After all, she was angry and couldn't hit Jiang Wenjing. Nor could she go to the company to make trouble for Jing Anan. Otherwise, she would be a joke. So it was reasonable that she could only bully the paralyzed Jiang Lin. This Jiang Lin was indeed here to collect debts. Anyway, he just felt that this matter was suspicious. It was most likely Jing Anan's plan. Look at the situation on the internet. Now the whole internet is talking about this matter. Your mother can't be saved this time. He didn't know how many years she would be sentenced. Anyway, with the power of the Jiang family, he didn't dare to do anything at this time. If he did, it would easily implicate the Jiang Corporation. Even now, Jiang Corporation's share price had been falling. "Dad, this is Mom's fault. Why don't you reflect on your behavior? You always suspect this and that." Jiang Wenjing felt that the couple was being unreasonable. If Mother Jiang had not beaten Jiang Lin, would this have happened? Most of the videos circulating on the internet were used by people who were keeping an eye on the Jiang group to attack them. Father Jiang suspected Jing Anan, but Jing Anan was by his side the entire time. He didn't have the chance to arrange anything. He knew that the two of them didn't like Jing Anan and Jiang Lin, but he didn't expect them to be blamed for this. When Jiang Wenjing went to see Jiang Lin's mother looked ferocious. She ordered him to divorce Jing Anan and drove Jiang Lin out, which annoyed him so much that he decided not to help her at all. The incident of Jiang Lin's mother hitting Jiang Lin had a huge impact on him. He felt that they wanted everything in their hands, and if they didn't get what they wanted, they wouldn't be satisfied. Until Jiang Lin's mother was tried and sentenced, Jiang Wenjing didn't say a word. Even during the investigation, he told the truth that Jiang Lin's mother was dissatisfied with Jiang Lin. These words made Jiang Lin's father so angry that he was sent to the hospital. After Jiang Lin's father was sent to the hospital, Jiang Wenjing didn't go to see him. Instead, he was busy with some company matters. Chapter 3861. Jing Anan went to visit him. Father Jiang didn't eat the food Jing Anan brought, and Jing Anan wasn't angry. Seeing Jing Anan like that, Father Jiang felt that she was scheming. If this continued, his son and the Jiang Corporation would definitely be in trouble. I know you're not simple. I'll give you whatever you want. As long as you're willing to leave Jiang Wenjing, you can take Jiang Lin and go far away. I won't treat you badly. Jing Anan was more silent. She didn't answer the question directly. She just helped him deliver the things, gave the doctor a few instructions, and was about to leave. Jing Anan, stop right there. Do you have to stir up chaos in our Jiang family before you feel comfortable? Don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. Jing Anan raised her head and looked at Father Jiang stubbornly. I've separated you very clearly. You are you, and Zheng is Zheng. Mom made a mistake. I won't blame Zheng for this. I don't ask for anything. I don't understand. I've already signed a prenuptial agreement. Why can't you accept me? Jing Anan was asking for the past her. At that time, she had taken care of the Jiang couple wholeheartedly. In the end, all she received was the family's disdain, indifference, and eagerness for her to die. Even if she was a little poor and came from a bad background, why didn't they treat her as a human? They treated her like a servant and didn't want her like grass? Even if Jiang Wenjing didn't like her from the beginning, she had done her best for them. In the end, she sacrificed one of her kidneys for Jiang Lin and aborted the child. Her body was damaged, and she couldn't get pregnant for a few years. They thought of her as a hen that couldn't lay eggs and never thought of her good points. This family was really colder and crueler than the other. I won't leave Zheng, and I won't divorce him. Jing Anan turned and left. After she left, Father Jiang smashed the phone on the ground, and it broke into several pieces. In the end, his chest was so tight that he quickly rang the bell and called the doctor over. During the days when Father Jiang was hospitalized, he found that Jiang Wenjing listened to Jing Anan's words. He also found out that Jiang Wenjing gave Jing Anan a lot of power in the company, so he became more and more worried. In the end, Father Jiang decided to do it once and for all. Since Jing Anan didn't know what was good for him, he could only give Jing Anan a piece of advice and let him know what he shouldn't touch. The system, which had been monitoring the Jiang family's situation, caught Father Jiang hiring someone to do something bad, so it quickly told Tanguo about it. They are indeed father and son. Their style of doing things is similar. Father Jiang contacted the people in the underworld and asked them to kidnap Jing Anan. As for how to play with him, it was up to them. It was fine even if he was crippled. The most important thing was to take photos. Jing Anan hadn't expected this. Her previous plan was to make the Jiang couple and Jiang Wenjing turn against each other, and use Jiang Wenjing to deal with them. It was only after Mother Jiang beat up Jiang Lin that she thought of sending her to prison. Now that Father Jiang was sick, her plan was to continue adding fuel to the fire and let the father and son fight. Father Jiang's body would definitely not be able to hold on. But she was wrong about one thing. Jiang Wenjing was such a pervert, so how good could Father Jiang be? They were father and son, so some of their thoughts were very similar. Father Jiang arranged people very quickly. Almost as soon as he transferred money to the other party sent people to wait for Jing Anan. Originally, Tanguo had an appointment with her Dr. Yi today. When she heard the news that he was already on the way, she could only save him first and drive over according to the system's instructions. Chapter 3862. But she couldn't be too obvious about saving someone. She felt that it would be more exciting to leave the stage of this world to Jing Anan. System, it's mainly because you're lazy. Actually, he felt that the host had fallen. If she could avoid doing it herself, she would. Only his Madam Host could describe laziness in such an elegant and refined manner. Where are we going to eat today? Yi Lian's happiest thing every day was to see a familiar car appear in front of him. when he walked out of the hospital after work. The young nurses in the hospital had boyfriends to pick them up every day. Hey, he was different. He had a girlfriend to pick him up every day. System, don't you feel that something is wrong? He seemed to be very proud of himself. I found a good place to eat. Let's go there today. There was indeed a good place, but they couldn't go there today. Tangwa drove the car. In fact, she had been following the car that kidnapped Jing Anan. She was going to create a car accident later to ruin the other party's plan. Coincidentally, she would bump into a conspiracy and save Jing Anan by accident. She would also call Jiang Wenjing while she was at it. Also, she would leave the person who did this to Yi Lian. After thinking about the plan in her mind, Tangwa started to carry it out. At this time, the roads in the city were actually quite congested. It was very easy to have a rear-end accident at this time of the year. Tangwa chased the car all the way and finally caught up with the other parties, but, taking advantage of the opportunity of a pause, she pretended that she didn't brake and suddenly hit the back of the other party's car. System, what a beautiful sound. Under normal circumstances, the person in front would definitely not give up. After all, Tangwa's collision would at least scratch the back of the car. But the person in the car didn't do anything. Jing Anan, who was tied up and placed in the back seat, felt that her chance had come. She could guess who did it. She couldn't think of anyone else, except for Mr. Jiang. She had overestimated the Jiang family's conscience. This time, she would take it as a lesson. Hearing the driver cursing and swearing without any intention of stopping, Jing Anan's heart sank. There was another person sitting in the front passenger seat. They were all here to catch her. After such an accident, they didn't stop. Obviously, they didn't want to delay. Jing Anan was a little anxious. He didn't expect the car to be hit again. Seeing that there was still a traffic jam ahead, Tangwa got out of the car and went to check the situation of the car in front. At the same time, when no one was paying attention, she punctured the rear wheel of the car. Jing Anan quickly stretched his neck to look outside. The glass couldn't see inside, but he could see outside from the inside. When she saw Tangwa, she wanted to struggle with all her might. However, she felt that Tangwa might not be able to hear her, so she sat inside calmly and waited for an opportunity. This time, Tangwa secretly punctured the tires, so the driver couldn't drive the car away. The man in the front passenger seat got out of the car. Looking at such a beautiful woman like Tangwa, he was still very impatient. After all, if this matter was delayed a little, it was very easy for something to go wrong. How do you drive? You even crashed into me twice. You look like a rich man. Did you buy your driver's license? If you don't know how to drive, can't you hire a driver? I also want to say, how are you guys driving? Stop and stop, stop and stop. If I don't hit you, who would I hit? You're in the way in front, and you're blaming me? Do you know how to drive or not? Tangwa crossed her arms and raised her eyebrows slightly, looking extremely arrogant and domineering. Chapter 3863. Isn't it just 2 collisions? Who told you to stop and leave? Whoever is behind you is unlucky. Passers-by. Was this the legendary road killer? She was really good at playing the blame game. Someone had already taken out his phone and took pictures of Tangwa. She ignored that completely. She wanted to save Jing Anan now. You are unreasonable. I have something to do today. I can't be bothered to argue with you. The man was afraid that something would happen and wanted to get on the car to wait for the tire repair. However, he was stopped by Tangwa. Stop. You damaged my car. Are you going to leave? Tangwa pointed at her car. Look, the front of my car has been damaged by your butt. Can I still drive out? System, very good. This is the kind of talent that the world lacks. You are so good at stirring up trouble. Passers-by. Yi Lian did not say anything at first. However, after Tangwa got off, he followed her. The man saw that the tall and strong Yi Lian was standing beside her and did not dare to say anything. Yi Lian pondered. Was his girlfriend's driving skills that bad? Impossible. She came to pick him up from work every day. No matter how crowded the road was, she could squeeze in. Her driving skills were better than his. In that situation, it was impossible for a collision to happen. Also, his girlfriend's stirring up trouble was very skillful. It was as if she had rehearsed it before. He was sure that his girlfriend was not that kind of person. So, why did she have to stir up trouble and make herself into a road killer? This kind of situation could easily cause her to become a hot topic and create a bad influence. Previously, it was so congested and crowded. There were a few cars in front that did not care about the people behind. She did not collide with them. However, she did not hesitate to collide with the car in front of him. She even collided with it twice. It seemed like she did it on purpose. So, why did she have to collide with the car in front? The other party did not care and wanted to leave. She even used an unreasonable method to stop them. There was something fishy. No matter what, his girlfriend must have her own reasons for doing this. She was not an unreasonable person who could not tell right from wrong. Hence, Yilian said to Tanghua, "That's right. The butt of your car damaged my girlfriend's car. Don't even think about leaving." System awesome. You. The man was furious. He pointed at Yilian and scolded, "You gigolo." Yilian glanced at Tanghua and said seriously, "It's also a skill. You can't be envious. Hurry up, how are you going to deal with this? My girlfriend's car was damaged by you. Do you want to settle this privately or publicly?" The man gritted his teeth. "You're being unreasonable. How much is it? I'm in a hurry today, so I can't talk to you anymore." Tanghua stretched out 5 fingers, but it seemed to be too little. She stretched out another 5 fingers and gestured in front of the man. 100,000. Why don't you just rob someone? Tanghua blinked. You're the one who damaged the car. Today you either pay for it or wait for the results. My car is not cheap. 100,000 is the least I can afford. Jing Anan listened to the noise outside and wanted to make some noise, but the driver was holding a knife to her neck, so she didn't dare to move at all. At this moment, the traffic police arrived. They were in the middle of the road. Because of them, the road was about to be blocked. When the traffic police came to interrogate them, Tanghua took out a hammer from nowhere and hit the car window hard. She muttered, "You're not going to pay, right? Then we're even." Chapter 3864. The sound of glass shattering rang out, causing everyone to sigh endlessly. They had never seen such a valiant person. He smashed the car window without saying a word. However, when they saw clearly that the car window had been smashed clean, they were all shocked by the scene that appeared inside. There was a woman tied up inside. Her mouth was wrapped with yellow tape, and her hands and feet were wrapped with yellow tape. The driver was looking back and pointing a knife at the woman. Before anyone could react, Yilian was the first to react. He took out a small knife from his bag and stabbed the driver's arm. Then, he rushed over and subdued the driver. The traffic police who came to deal with the traffic problems were also dumbfounded as they watched the development of the story. They didn't come back to their senses for a while. The man who talked to Tanghua before also wanted to run, but he was tripped by Tanghua. She stepped on the kidnapper's face with her white shoes. "I was wondering why you were so anxious. It turns out that you were doing something bad." At this time, the passers-by didn't think that Tanghua was a road killer at all. Instead, they were imagining that she must have known something. So she used this method to save people. It seemed that she did something stupid, but in fact she saved people. It could be said that Jing and An's soul was still shaken. If Tanghua didn't appear today, she really didn't know what to do. She didn't know how Tanghua found her, and she didn't ask, but she was very grateful. If it wasn't for Tanghua, she didn't know what would happen next. Those people were outlaws, and they definitely wouldn't let her have an easy time. When recording the statement, the police asked Tanghua if she knew that Jing Anan was kidnapped. Tanghua said that she didn't know. She just felt that the people in front of her didn't follow the traffic rules and wanted to run away after breaking her car. She wanted to teach them a lesson. Although they were speechless for a while, they still wanted to ask about the identity of the 2 kidnappers. Jiang Wenjing hurried over. Seeing that Jing Anan was fine, he was relieved. She was kidnapped for no reason, and Jiang Wenjing had already ordered people to find out what was going on. A few days later, Jiang Wenjing found out that the person who did this was Father Jiang. Moreover, when they learned from the people in the underworld that Father Jiang had ordered them to do something to Jing Anan, They rushed to the hospital and completely fell out with Father Jiang. After this time, Father Jiang still didn't give up. The second time he asked for help. This time, he wanted Jing Ainan's life. With Tanggua's reminder, Jing Ainan managed to escape. The murderer was finally caught and confessed that it was Father Jiang's doing. On the day he sent Father Jiang to prison, Jing Ainan even said to him, "It's fine now. Mom is inside. With you by her side, she won't be lonely." These words were said very softly, and Father Jiang was so angry that his whole body trembled. Even if he told this to Jiang Wenzheng, he was afraid that the other party would not believe him and would think that he was framing Jing Ainan. At this moment, Father Jiang finally understood that Jing Ainan wasn't some silly sweet girl. She was clearly a 1,000-year-old demoness. Being naive and sweet was just her disguise. "Dr. Yi, are you done? Dr. Yi, did your girlfriend come to pick you up again?" "Dr. Yi, you're so lucky to have such a beautiful and gentle girlfriend coming to pick you up. She's even more punctual than my husband." "Dr. Yi, when your girlfriend wants to change partners in the future, can you help us ask her not to be so rigid in terms of gender?" Yi Lian looked around at these young nurses. Get lost. Chapter 3865. Dr. Yi, don't be so stingy. Besides, isn't it normal to break up and get back together in a relationship? In today's society, how many people enter marriage from their first relationship? Don't even think about it. Yi Lian quickly went back to change his clothes and ran out of the hospital. He did not forget to remind the nurses, "Xiao Gua and I will get married. Don't even think about it." Yi Lian sat in the car and thought about what happened before. He was a little nervous. He had too many love rivals, both men and women. It was too difficult. He had already begun to think about marriage. He was prepared to think about it during his long vacation. "What's wrong? There are a lot of patients today. Is there a surgery?" "It's fine," Yi Lian replied. He realized that Tanggua's face was full of smiles, as if she was very happy. "Why are you so happy? What's the good news?" "My boyfriend is handsome. I'm very happy to see him." This sentence instantly made Yi Lian's heart burst with joy. His girlfriend was too good. No wonder countless people coveted her. "Why don't you not pick me up in the future?" Yi Lian said. "When you come, the nurses in the hospital will lose their souls." Tanggua smiled. "Are you afraid that I will be snatched away?" "Of course. I like good-looking people. In the entire hospital, Dr. Yi is the best-looking. No one else can attract me." Yi Lian could not help but look at the mirror. He was satisfied with his appearance. Indeed, he was really good-looking. "Then you still came to pick me up?" Yi Lian said hesitantly. "Is it tiring to run like this every day?" After all, Tanggua still had to manage such a big company. She still had to pick him up after work, which made his heart ache. "I have nothing to do now. I was busy in the past few years because I was choosing people to help me manage the company. Now I've trained them. I'm basically not busy now, unless there's something big that I need to do. Can't we video call meetings now? It's very convenient." System. Those cows were all chosen by him for the host. In addition, he helped the host deal with some of the company's trivial matters. Therefore, he was really the most useful Tongzi. He was different from the 111 Tongzi, who did nothing and only knew how to flatter others. The two of them went to eat before going home. At night, Yi Lian accidentally saw the news on his phone. It was the news of Father Jiang being sentenced. He stared at it for a while, then closed the notification and went to sleep. Now, he should think about how to propose to his girlfriend during the next long vacation. Was anything else important? It was not important at all. Jing Ainan hired someone to take care of Jiang Lin again. She seemed to be an honest person who knew how to take care of people. Jiang Lin could be considered to have escaped the torture, but she did not feel good about it. So what if she was well taken care of? She couldn't move, couldn't speak, could only lie there all day. What was the difference between her and a dead person? Especially when she saw the tacit understanding between Jing Ainan and Jiang Wenzheng. She was so angry that she couldn't rest in peace every day. Jiang Lin noticed that Jing Ainan and Jiang Wenzheng had been spending a lot of time at home recently. Jiang Lin knew what had happened to the Jiang couple, and she was delighted. What made Jiang Lin unhappy was that Jiang Wenjing didn't hide his feelings for Jing Anan at all. She often heard Jiang Wenjing asking Jing Anan to give him a chance, and saying that he would take good care of her. Jiang Lin was so angry that she was about to die, but she couldn't say a word. She didn't understand why Jing Anan didn't agree when she clearly liked Jiang Wenjing so much. After all, she was a useless person and couldn't stop them. She also didn't know that Jiang Wenjing had been rejected by Jing Anan, using Jiang Lin as an excuse for 2 years, and was already very impatient. Especially when Jing Anan even tried to ask for a divorce, saying that no one could stop him and Jiang Lin now. Jiang Wenjing's heart was filled with violence at the thought of Jing Anan leaving him. He began to look for the reason, and finally had an idea in his heart. The person who was obstructing them was Jiang Lin. If Jiang Lin was not around, then Jing Anan had no excuse to reject him, right? Chapter 3866. Dear host, Jiang Wenjing has been acting strangely recently. I think he will do something to Jiang Lin. The system secretly reported to Tang Guo what it saw. He goes to Jiang Lin's room every day and stays there for a while. The expression he shows occasionally is very scary. The Jiang couple has been in prison for several years. Jiang Lin is paralyzed. Jiang Wenjing is the only one left. Tang Guo looked at the system's monitor. Jiang Wenjing was sitting next to Jiang Lin and talking. His voice did not change, but his eyes were a little strange. If Jiang Wenjing thinks that Jiang Lin is between him and Jing Anan, he will do something to her. Jiang Wenjing had never changed. No matter how much he used to like Jiang Lin, she had now become an obstacle to him. All he could think about was how to get rid of this obstacle. Jiang Lin can't die. When the system heard Tang Guo's resolute words, its entire body trembled. It felt that the host's heart was full of benevolence. She felt that Jiang Lin was too pitiful, so she said those words. She probably thought that if Jiang Lin really died, it would be too easy for her. Jiang Wenjing can't die either. I don't know what he is going to do to Jiang Lin. Jiang Lin could not move and could not go out. Jing Anan had tried to take Jiang Lin out before, but Jiang Lin was unwilling. Maybe Jiang Lin could not accept going out to meet people now. Or maybe she was afraid that Jing Anan would do something to hurt her. Jing Anan looked gentle and considerate, but Jiang Lin's intuition told her that Jing Anan was very dangerous. It was more dangerous for her to stay in the house. At least, there were surveillance cameras in her room. Thanks to the surveillance cameras, Jiang Lin's mother was sentenced for beating her. Even if the helper was an honest person and would not do anything to her, Jiang Lin would not ask to go out. She liked to stay in the room. If someone did something bad, the surveillance cameras would record it clearly. Jiang Lin was a bit contradictory. On one hand, she was afraid that Jing Anan had bad intentions. On the other hand, she believed in the surveillance cameras. In the end, Jiang Lin did not think that Jing Anan was a bad person. It also proved that Jing Anan's acting skills were much better than Jiang Lin's. How could a mere Jiang Lin see through a person who had suffered setbacks and hardships? Jiang Wenjing only had the chance to make Jiang Lin disappear in the villa. Since the system told Tang Guo that something was wrong with Jiang Wenjing, Tang Guo asked it to pay more attention to the situation in the villa. She was already guessing how Jiang Wenjing would make his move. First of all, he would definitely choose a time when Jing Anan was not around. Because of the previous hacker attack, Jiang Wenjing didn't dare to leave any traces on the internet. It was easy to be discovered. With the existence of Jing Anan and Tang Guo, Jiang Wenjing could do whatever he wanted. It wasn't so easy for him to do bad things. Tang Guo wasn't Jiang Wenjing, so she couldn't figure out what he was thinking. But this didn't stop her from seeing that Jiang Wenjing was very urgent about this matter. For this matter, she planned to visit Jiang Lin. To see Jiang Lin? Yes, Dr. Yi. I've arranged for a driver to pick you up today. I won't be going there personally. Yi Lian asked. Why do you suddenly want to visit Jiang Lin? Chapter 3867. Tang Guo's behavior had always been strange, and Yi Lian still couldn't figure it out. But this didn't affect their relationship, and he didn't care. I heard from Miss Jing that Jiang Lin's condition isn't good. I'll go and persuade her. No matter what, she still has to go on. Who knows, maybe she would recover one day. If she gives up now, there's no chance for her to recover. Yi Lian was still suspicious. His girlfriend and Jiang Lin didn't have a good relationship, right? The matter of Tang was matching at the beginning suddenly popped into his mind. Could it be Jiang Wenjing? No, he quickly denied. They had been together for so many years, and his girlfriend definitely didn't like Jiang Wenjing. Moreover, Jiang Wenjing wasn't at home during the day, so they couldn't meet. So, why did she want to see Jiang Lin? Just to persuade her to give up. Dr. Yi, why aren't you talking? What are you thinking? If you have any doubts, you can ask me directly. Then go. I don't suspect that you like Jiang Wenjing. Yi Lian almost couldn't help but laugh. How can your taste be so bad? I'm just curious. You haven't mentioned Jiang Lin in these years, so why did you suddenly go? Forget it, you go. I still have a few patients here, and it'll be late after work. We'll talk when you're done. Tanghua came to Jiang Lin's house. She called Jing Anan before coming, and the helper saw her and let her in. Jiang Lin was in a wheelchair with only one leg and one hand. Because the other side was paralyzed, she lost her balance and couldn't do anything. The room was very dark, and the curtains were drawn. She didn't know how long it had been since she saw the sun. Miss Jiang, Miss Tang is here to see you. The helper stood far away and whispered to Jiang Lin. The reason why she stood so far away was that Jiang Lin would use her free hand to grab things around her and smash them. Jiang Lin wouldn't throw things too far away, so the helper's position was absolutely safe. Hearing that Tanghua was here, Jiang Lin had some reaction and wanted to see her. The helper quickly pushed her and made her face Tanghua. Jiang Lin's current appearance was indeed very ugly. Her entire face was gloomy and frightening, and her eyes were also very spicy and sinister. Of course, when she saw Tanghua, she did not lose her temper. Let me push you out for a walk. I heard that you haven't been cooperating with the treatment. Jiang Lin snorted. So what if he cooperated with the treatment? She had heard the doctor's discussion. The chances of her replying were less than 10%. No matter how much she cooperated, it would be futile. She even suspected that Jing Anan didn't want her to recover in order to monopolize Jiang Wenjing. Moreover, she suspected that there was something wrong with the medicine. Yes, Jiang Lin was already suffering from paranoia. However, she probably didn't know that her intuition was right. When Tanghua pushed Jiang Lin's wheelchair, she did not resist. In Jiang Lin's impression, Tanghua was a naive girl who was willing to sacrifice herself for love. She was not scheming at all. She was probably here to see Jiang Wenjing. Jiang Lin suddenly had a plan in her mind. Why didn't she use Tanghua to make Jiang Wenjing hate Jing Anan and drive her away? Under Jiang Lin's hint, Tanghua gave her a book. Jiang Lin hadn't written for many years. She tried her best to write on the book and communicate with Tanghua. The first sentence was, "Do you still like Brother Zheng?" Chapter 3868. Jiang Lin also hated Jiang Wenjing. This time, not only did she want Jing Anan to lose everything and be abandoned by Jiang Wenjing, but she also wanted the Jiang family to go bankrupt. She wanted to use Tanghua to destroy Jiang Wenjing. No matter whether Tanghua liked Jiang Wenjing or not, as long as she could sow discord between them, she would succeed. After all, Jiang Wenjing and Jing Anan were always showing off their love in her villa. Tanghua shook her head. Jiang Lin was not reconciled and wrote again. "Do you hate him?" Tanghua shook her head again. She knew what Jiang Lin wanted to do. Jiang Lin wanted to use her to take revenge on Jing Anan and Jiang Wenjing. She had to admit that Jiang Lin was really selfish and ruthless. She was a perfect match for Jiang Wenjing. Thinking of what Jiang Lin wanted to do, she deliberately showed some loneliness in her eyes. Sure enough, she found that Jiang Lin was excited and ruthless. After that, Jiang Lin and Tanghua communicated a lot with words. Jiang Lin's words were all to induce Tanghua and increase Tanghua's hatred for Jing Anan and Jiang Wenjing. She even fabricated some things that Jiang Wenjing didn't do at all. Anyway, it would make people angry as soon as they heard it. Unknowingly, it was dark. Tanghua was about to go home. Jiang Lin asked her to take the notes and get rid of them. Tanggua agreed and took the notes. But when she walked out of the villa, she threw the notes into the dustbin. She didn't destroy them as Jiang Lin had told her, because these things were still useful to make Jiang Wenjing decide to get rid of Jiang Lin as soon as possible. Host, the maid who took care of Jiang Lin went to pick up the notes as expected. Sure enough, according to Jiang Wenjing's character, he will definitely choose a second maid after the maid bullied Jiang Lin once. First, he wants to take good care of Jiang Lin. Second, Jiang Wenjing still likes to control many things in his own hands. Later, the maid gave the notes to Jiang Wenjing. Tanggua didn't know what Jiang Wenjing's expression was when he saw it, but the system described it to her. He seems to have made up his mind about something. His face is very cold. 2 days later, Tanggua went to see Jiang Lin again. In the garden, she secretly said something to Jiang Lin. Jiang Lin, I have something good here, but it's still under development. However, I've seen a few experiments, and the effects are quite good. Tanggua took out a button-sized necklace. This necklace can be opened. There's a pill inside. Jiang Lin did not understand and wrote on the paper. What medicine? Could it be a medicine that can help me stand up? Tanggua shook her head and said in a low voice. No. But although there's no way to restore your health, this medicine can stimulate the nerves for a short period of time and produce a certain effect. Thinking about what happened to you before, I think you should be able to use it. If there's any danger, this pill can save your life. Unfortunately, the effect is too short. It only lasts for 3 minutes, and there are quite a few side effects. Jiang Lin knew that there was a large pharmaceutical company under the Tang family's name, and there was a laboratory that specialized in developing all kinds of drugs. It was not surprising that Tanggua could come up with some strange medicines. Jiang Lin was a little excited as she wrote. What effect does it have? Tanggua explained. It can help you stand up for a short period of time, but only for 3 minutes. I've seen the experiment videos. Those paralyzed mice with nerve problems can move their bodies within 30 seconds after taking this medicine. They can also exert a lot of strength. Although it's only for 3 minutes, you should understand that 3 minutes is enough. Jiang Lin's eyes were full of hope. The medicine developed by the Tang family's pharmaceutical company was really tailor-made for her. If she could stand up for 3 minutes now, it might be able to solve her problem forever. Chapter 3869. Jiang Lin was overjoyed and hid the necklace in her clothes. If she had this medicine, she wouldn't have been bullied by her mother. This thing could be used to save one's life. Jiang Lin decided that no matter what, she had to pull Tanggua to her side to deal with Jing Anan and Jiang Wenjing together. She had to treat Tanggua better. If she wanted to stand up again, she had to rely on Tanggua's medicine. This time, Tanggua destroyed some of the important notes and threw the rest into the trash can. After that, the helpers picked them up and gave them to Jiang Wenjing. The contents of the notes were all Jiang Lin trying to sow discord between Tanggua and herself. As Tanggua came over from time to time, Jiang Lin's purpose became more obvious. Jiang Wenjing finally understood that Jiang Lin wanted to destroy the Jiang family to take revenge on him and Jing Anan. He felt that Jiang Lin had changed. She was no longer the considerate and gentle Jiang Lin from before. Just because she was jealous of her sister, she wanted to destroy them. Jiang Lin was so ruthless that she wanted them to never be able to stand up again. There was no need for him to be merciful. Jiang Wenjing's patience with Jiang Lin had reached its limit. Without Jiang Lin, he and Jing Anan would definitely live a harmonious and happy life. Jiang Corporation had a big project in a certain city and needed important members of the company to be in charge of this project. For his own plan, Jiang Wenjing sent Jing Anan without hesitation. From the beginning of the project to the process, Jing Anan was in charge, and there were no problems. It was already 3 months later when the project was about to end. Seeing that Jing Anan was about to come back, Jiang Wenjing planned to make a move that night. First, he broke the wiring of the villa, causing the entire villa to have a power outage. Jiang Lin liked to sleep with the light on. The moment the light suddenly went out, she felt very flustered. In the dark night, She called out twice, but no one answered. Jiang Wenzheng was used to not letting the helpers stay in the villa at night. At present, only he and Jiang Lin lived in this villa. Jiang Lin never dreamed that the power outage in the villa was because Jiang Wenzheng broke the wiring. It was to prevent the surveillance in Jiang Lin's room from working. After Jiang Lin was paralyzed, she had nothing to do every day except to lose her temper. She would drink and smoke in the house. In that case, it was normal for a fire to break out. Every time Jing Anan found Jiang Lin drinking, she would scold her. The more she scolded her, the more Jiang Lin wanted to do these things. If he didn't give it to her, Jiang Lin would scream and make a fuss in the house. She would only calm down if he gave it to her. This was a plan that Jiang Wenzheng had thought about for a long time. Smoking, drinking, and starting a fire. The fire must be very strong, right? It was normal for Jiang Lin, who was paralyzed, to not be able to escape. He had just returned from a drinking party. He was drunk and in a deep sleep. It was normal for him not to hear anything, right? His room was quite far from Jiang Lin's. Jiang Lin's room was on the 3rd floor, while his was on the 2nd. By the time he found out about the commotion, Jiang Lin's room would probably be closed. These things happened naturally, and no one would notice anything. After thinking for a while, Jiang Wenzheng went to Jiang Lin's room. He didn't need to bring anything. All the tools were in Jiang Lin's room. Jiang Lin heard the sound of the door opening, and subconsciously glanced at the door. She could not get up herself. All the necessary things were placed by the helper next to the hand that could move. Chapter 3870. These things included wine, cigarettes, lighters, and some remote controls to turn on the electrical appliances in the room. As for the urinal, there was no such thing as it was placed under the bed. Every day before the helper left, she would help her install the catheter. Jiang Lin felt that the sloppy and shameful days that she experienced every day were shameful. She transferred all her shame to Jing Anan and Jiang Wenzheng and turned it into hatred. Knowing that it should be Jiang Wenzheng who came in, Jiang Lin snorted twice, as if asking why the power went out. Jiang Wenzheng said, "Maybe the circuit is burned out. Get someone to see what's going on tomorrow." Jiang Lin understood and didn't say anything. She always felt that tonight was a little strange. She didn't have the intention to pester Jiang Wenzheng and let him accompany her. Jiang Wenzheng already liked Jing Anan. She saw it clearly from the side. The man who was once played by her didn't like her anymore. Since Tangua gave her that pill, she had the hope of standing up. In her world, the Jiang couple couldn't threaten her, and Jiang Wenzheng became unimportant. Jiang Wenzheng didn't leave. Instead, he approached Jiang Lin's bed. In the dark, Jiang Lin couldn't see Jiang Wenjing's expression. She had to turn on the light of her phone, only to find that Jiang Wenjing was pouring wine. Not only did he pour wine, but he also lit a cigarette and handed her one. Jiang Lin put her phone aside and took the cigarette in her hand in confusion. She subconsciously took a puff. Lying down, she was used to smoking every day. Smelling the smell, she couldn't resist. Jiang Wenjing handed her the wine, and she drank it. Although it was easy to flow out when drinking, like cigarettes, wine was something that she couldn't resist at all. The doctor advised that she couldn't do these things. She, who had given up all hope, just wanted to muddle along day by day. The so-called self-control had long been far away from her. It was impossible for her to control herself. Jiang Wenjing poured another glass of wine for Jiang Lin. When he was about to hand it to Jiang Lin, the wine glass suddenly fell on Jiang Lin's bed. Jiang Lin froze for a moment. Before she could react, Jiang Wenjing picked up the bottle and poured the rest of the wine in front of Jiang Lin. The bottle fell and rolled to the ground, making a terrible sound in the dark night. Under Jiang Lin's puzzled gaze, Jiang Wenjing took out a white handkerchief, wiped his hands, and wiped the places he had just touched. Jiang Lin's heart trembled when she saw this. She wanted to ask something, but all that came out of her mouth was "aha." She couldn't say anything at all. She was a little flustered. Jiang Wenjing lit the lighter again and threw it on Jiang Lin's quilt under her incredulous gaze. Because there was a high concentration of alcohol on the quilt was instantly set ablaze after seeing the fire. He wanted to burn her to death. Jiang Lin struggled with all her might, wanting to get up. However, half of her body was paralyzed, and the other half of her body was unable to exert any strength. Not only was she unable to get up, but she also fell to the ground. Even the burning quilt was scattered all over the ground. There were many combustible things in this room. In a short period of time, the fire was very big. Coupled with Jiang Lin's struggle, other places quickly burned. Jiang Wenjing saw Jiang Lin's struggle, and the surrounding was burning. He knew that she couldn't escape. Ignoring Jiang Lin's screams of being burned, he turned to leave. After a while, he closed the door and went back to his room to sleep. It would take a while for the movement here to be discovered. He drank wine and slept soundly. Chapter 3871. Jiang Lin was surrounded by the fire, full of anger and hatred for Jiang Wenjing. The fire burned her body and she screamed in pain. Jiang Wenjing didn't seem to hear these sounds. He only knew that Jiang Lin was dead, and no one would stop him and Jing Anan. Jing Anan had no family, and could only rely on him. Jing Anan, who had lost her family, couldn't leave him. A woman without a family would rely on him more, and want to have someone to rely on. He didn't want to kill Jiang Lin, but Jiang Lin angered him first. If Jiang Lin didn't sow discord, and planned to use Tanggua to deal with him, he wouldn't do it. Ah! Jiang Lin screamed loudly, but Jiang Wenjing still didn't look back. He just frowned and felt that Jiang Lin was really not the gentle and kind Jiang Lin of the past. At this time, he recalled some details and felt that Jiang Lin had a lot of malice toward Jing Anan. Perhaps her nature was like this, but she didn't expose it in the past. Just as Jiang Wenjing was about to open the door and leave the room, Jiang Lin suddenly jumped up and hugged Jiang Wenjing. Jiang Wenjing didn't think of this, and was pressed to the ground by Jiang Lin. At this time, the whole room was filled with fire. Jiang Lin hated Jiang Wenjing so much that she wanted to eat his flesh, drink his blood, peel his skin, and burn his bones to ashes. She didn't care about going out, but Jiang Wenjing wanted to burn her. She couldn't bear it. She thought she would be burned alive, but she suddenly remembered a pill that Tanggua gave her before. She endured the pain, opened the button necklace and swallowed the pill. 30 seconds later, a force came from her body. She tried to stand up and really stood up. She didn't forget that the effect of the pill was only 3 minutes. Her mind was full of Jiang Wenjing wanted to burn her, so she couldn't let Jiang Wenjing have it easy. She used all her strength to hug Jiang Wenjing, and brought him back to the place where the fire was the strongest. Jiang Wenjing couldn't break free from Jiang Lin no matter how hard he struggled. At this time, Jiang Lin was like a boulder, pressing him so hard that he couldn't breathe. Jiang Lin, let go of me, are you crazy? The fire had already burned Jiang Wenjing's body. He felt that his clothes were already on fire. It had already begun to burn his skin, and the burning pain made him very flustered. He struggled with all his might, but he couldn't break free. When the fire surrounded the two of them, Jiang Lin turned Jiang Wenjing over so that he was on top, and she was on the bottom. Jiang Wenjing thought that his chance to escape had come, but he still couldn't break free. No matter what he did, he could only maintain this posture. Jiang Lin was still unable to speak. He could hear the sound of Jiang Lin grinding her teeth. His body was being hugged tightly by Jiang Lin, as if she wanted to strangle him to death. Even though 3 minutes had passed, Jiang Lin was still hugging Jiang Wenjing because her body was stiff. Jiang Wenjing couldn't break free. A ferocious and terrifying smile appeared on Jiang Lin's face. Seeing Jiang Wenjing howling in pain, she laughed like a madman. Both of them thought that they were going to die, but in the end they were rescued. They were still alive, but the situation was not very good. Jing Anan received a call, and learned that there was a fire at home. Jiang Lin and Jiang Wenjing were seriously burned, especially Jiang Wenjing. His whole back was burned, his face was burned, and his arms were also burned. It was said that the people who rushed to the scene found that Jiang Wenjing was tightly holding Jiang Lin in his arms, which was why he was so burned. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference. as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.